that ticks me off, y'all. I ain't gonna lie to you. When they do that, like, cause this shit that's trash. That's trash. I didn't even get a chance to say nothing. You look mad, homie. What I be mad about? Fuck am I mad about? What you talking about? No, we're not having Bible study again. I was just using it for that one point. I haven't did a Bible study live yet. So I saw a comment. I was just addressing the comment. Yeah, let me see. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Lord have mercy.
No, I was just gonna say, please don't do no Bible study live, nigga.
I'm not doing this tonight.
Because then I'm gonna have to get mad disrespectful, and that's not nice. Because I respect you for having your beliefs.
Nah,
Just
if I do
respect
a
me
Bible
for not having them.
if I do a Bible study live, it'll be a prompt that say Bible study.
And I won't be here.
I got you.
So to answer the prompt, women can't keep a man because men don't want to be kept. I agree. And most divorces are men's fault. I 100% agree. There's nothing to argue. That's factual.
Canny? Oh, how do you say your name, bro?
It's factual.
His name is Carnegie. He's calling himself after like Carnegie Mellon.
Oh my God. Okay.
No, that's my actual name. Do you want me to show you my documents that show what are you talking about?
Are you black?
I'm a person of African descent, yes.
I'm sorry. Are you black American?
Oh, so you're gonna call your brother nigga, right? Go ahead.
White.
Speak your mind, bro. I got thick skin, but you're just showing your maturity. Go ahead.
Wait, what are you talking about? I'm asking, are you black American?
Why is that relevant to your topic? I don't get it.
My Jesus. Because yes, it does be relevant sometimes. Yes, it's relevant right now. So, are you black American?
I was born in Florida.
What the fuck does Florida have to do with being black? The state doesn't matter. So what are you saying?
Right. So, are you aware that like black is a color?
Are both of your parents black, Carnegie?
Okay, so you're a white team. So you're a white team man, right? Oh, you matter of fact, don't you?
I didn't say that.
It's fake. Yeah, no, this is his. I know this dude. He blackfishes because I remember your voice. You fucking racist piece of shit. Go fuck your mother.
So you know what? Matter of fact, you can't say nothing until you cam up. Let me see something.
Ew.
Yeah, you're a fucking incestuous bitch.
I
You do this every single time.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, you're blackfishing because that's not you.
Hello? Are you deaf? Are you deaf?
You're not black. You're not black.
I blackfish?
You're not black.
Are you Indian or like?
Are you blackfish? Are you
You say African?
Are you okay in the
Why
head?
wouldn't you just say yes that you're black? That was a weird.
And these are the type of people. That are below.
I asked you a question.
Below my intellectual capacity.
I guarantee you we're both smarter than you.
All right, so if we, that's funny. If we're below intellectual capacity, right? You're an Indian. But anyway, if we below intellectual capacity, right? What do you have to answer? What do you want to say?
I mean, okay, bro. So let's go with your premise. I'm an Indian. I'm just on here making up who I am, right? Let's go with that, right? Let's go with that. No. Let's go with that. Let's go with it.
Let's go with it.
Yeah. So what's your problem with people of it? What's your problem with Indian people?
I only be addressing my community of people majority of the time, right?
Bro, you can't even talk correctly. You're a bum, nigga. Get your ass off of TikTok. You're an idiot.
I'm a bum. Now I'm a bum, and he left.
He's not black. He's Indian, and he's not even full Indian. His mom's white too.
Because that was weird. No black man says I'm of African descent. The fuck?
No, some of them do, but it'd be funny. It'd be fucking funny. I don't be addressing you. Some of you people, I don't. Yes, Emmanuel.
If it's the man's fault, why are most divorces initiated by women?
That's easy. That's an easy answer. Okay, so what's the number one reason for divorce? Don't say irreconcilable differences. That's just an umbrella. So what's the actual number one reason?
I don't know, money or something.
No, actually, it's not. It's not. What do men have a hard time controlling?
Love. And
Nigga, what tool on their body do they have a hard time controlling?
Hands.
I'm gonna ask one more time.
Number two. That's number two. That's number two.
Wait. What's the number one thing?
I guess you trying to talk about
what
the
do
pecker.
men use to create children?
You talking about the pecker?
Yes. So again, infidelity. Infidelity, bro.
Abuse.
Oh my god.
Financial
lack of
irresponsibility. And then lack of communication and lack of equitable distribution of labor within the home.
No, look, let me learn you something.
No, those are actually what's written, you dumbass.
Listen, okay, and quit talking like you white and you black. It's very irritating.
What is that?
Pause. She's an educated woman, so she's speaking as an educated woman.
What does speech have to do with? Never mind. What are you trying to say? Like, what was your reason for coming up? I just gave you why women are leaving. They're leaving because men suck. So what else? What now do you want to? How do you want to answer that?
What I was gonna say is cheating ain't a reason why a woman would leave a man. Okay, as long as that bread's coming on time, why she being nosy? That's what I gotta say about that.
Wait, whoa. So everything should be permissible as long as the money is coming in?
Exactly.
Well, let's entertain that fact.
Whoa. What the fuck did you adopt this shit from? So you should be able to cheat, have multiple wives, do whatever the fuck you want to abuse, right? Whatever, as long as the check coming in?
Hey, he's black. Shannon, he's black. So in black marriages, black women are the majority breadwinners. So let that lady cheat in peace. Let that woman get her back blown out in peace. Let that woman smack you around in peace. Let that woman have outside babies in peace, right?
And
Because
if you
black
want to
women are
operate
breadwinners.
by his logic, most black men do not make enough to be quote unquote the breadwinners or the sole providers in the household. So they cannot afford to cheat anyway by your logic. So either way.
Y'all tap the screen. Get the screen shut off.
About black people.
What?
I'm sorry, say that again, Emmanuel.
Now you're making negative stereotypes about black people.
It's not a stereotype. That's a fact. That's a fact. Do some research. It's a fact. So what else stupid do you have to say?
Can you tell me what it's like to be a broke nigga talking like you have money? Like, please tell me. Like, I'm going to call my dad and ask him what he thinks about that.
Well, why is this racially confused woman talking to me?
This nigga think he's Prince Akeem from fucking coming back to America. He want to talk like he got some money.
Wait, hold on. I'm trying to get some understanding.
Prince of Zamunda, my ass.
I'm trying to get some understanding. Racially confused?
Black.
Well, what do you mean by racially confused?
I don't think you know you're black, though. I don't think you know
Really,
you're black.
what does that have to do? I have
do?
a black dad and a black mom and black grandparents on both sides.
Wait, Emmanuel, is calling out problematic behaviors in our community, is that anti-black? Y'all tap the screen, share it alive. Tap the screen though. Emmanuel, is calling out problematic things that men do anti-black?
Yes.
Ow.
Well, wait. I don't know if you are you trolling? Hey, you got to be trolling. You got to be trolling. So we should never speak up for or against the problems that black men do in the community, right?
Well, we can address some things, but at the same time, we gotta understand.
I'm sorry, my finger slipped. My bad.
I'm done. Just the way by that word "understand" came out, I know you bullshit. The way he started switching up, and I caught it. I was like, yeah, I know you trolling. You got us for a second, but get the fuck on.
That's their problem. They want us to be fucking
that
dumb.
nigga Oswald Bates from Living Color.
They want us to be dumb as hell, but let her had come up here talk about and smacking a fucking bonnet. He would have had everything to say about her too. So y'all niggas really miss me with that bullshit. Go back to Zamunda. Go back to scrubbing the floors of Prince Zamunda's mansion. Find something to do. You came here as an errand boy, and you trying to pose as the prince, bitch, with that crusty dollar store dashiki you had on.
That nigga Oswald Bates. Hey, go ahead, Oz. What's up with? Hey, y'all tap the screen, share the live, man. What's going on, man?
Not much, man. Not much. Y'all doing all right?
We trying, man. What you got?
Let's see. It says most divorces are men's fault. I gotta agree with it, man. I gotta agree with it because at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, the man is supposed to be the leader of his home. You know what I'm saying? It's your responsibility to make sure that things fall in place. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, so yeah, if a divorce comes in hand, you know what I'm saying, that's up to you, man. Whether that happens or not happens. At the same time, it's a female's call too, but if your house falls apart, man, that's on the man.
Okay.
Female, that's a weird way of addressing it.
I was trying to let it slide because I don't know if. Well, no, you did say if you would have said males and then females, I would have let the correlation go. You're gonna use the word man in one sentence. Use women. You're gonna say males.
I got
use
you.
females.
Got you.
For the sake of respect.
Yeah, that's my fault. My fault. I ain't mean no disrespect by it.
You good? You good? We all had to learn it. I've been there too, bro. Don't worry about it. Paul.
How y'all doing?
What's up? Wait a minute. Hold on. Are you a passport, bro?
No, he's not. Paul's
Okay. I can't see. I was making sure the symbol. Okay. I thought I was true. Go ahead.
Well, I don't know what the hell that. Okay. Women can't keep a man because men don't want to be kept. Most divorces are men's fault. Absolutely. I believe most men they do the rug pull on a lot of ladies, especially nowadays. A lot of them pissed off, mad because a lot of the lies that they've been telling is no longer working no more. So they'll sit there and go into these relationships. Basically, I don't know if you ever heard of Alan Roger Curry, but they'll do the gentleman role, the acting role, which is like mode 3. They go into these relationships saying, hey, you know, I'll do anything for you. I'll give you the moon, the stars, and the galaxies and all that other stuff. But then as soon as they get into a relationship, they do the rug pull on like, oh, you know, well, if you want me to do this for you, you got to do this. Quid pro quo type. So a lot of times they'll do that. And then women stop engaging with them sexually, and then they'll all of a sudden say, oh, I'm living in a sexual-less marriage. And the thing is, you gave your woman the ick, you know, and once you give her the ick, she's going to no longer engage with you intimately anymore. So they'll sit there and complain and, you know, bitch about that, and it's wild to me. So then when divorce is initiated, which 80% of women are initiating divorce, is because men have failed in that arena. You literally changed from the guy you presented yourself to be, which was an actor. It wasn't even the true representation of yourself. And you did the rug pull on her, and now she's stuck. She got kids, she got debt, financial burden on her, and you ultimately trapped her with that. You really want her to lose, not win in most of those situations. And so then when I'll say in my lives, and that's usually early in the mornings when I'm off of work. But when my lives, a lot of guys will come in here like, well, you know, you're sitting here and you're just bashing men and you're just beating up men. Well, the thing is, if you're a man, you can take it. What's the problem? The truth is, you have failed as men. There's the culture that you say that women are single mothers now. All women are single mothers. They should have just chose better. My opinion is that women shouldn't choose men at all today. In today's market, men should be completely disqualified, period. And I also say no accountability until responsibility is taken from men. You have to take responsibility for what you have created. You have created this marketplace, and you're blaming women for this. And I've had ladies come up there and actually talk about how they have the rug pulled on them. And then now you feeling, well, why they won't love us? Why they won't come back? Because you bitches fucked up. You came in and you was disingenuous. You lied to them. That's what happened. And now this is the new culture, and you don't want to deal with that shit. And so then when a man comes in and say, hey, this is where y'all screwed up at, this is where you messed up at, you're not listening to me anyway because you want them to fall for the bullshit, the same old tropes. And they're not falling for that shit no more. Women have their own money now. They have their own careers. They have their own cars. They have houses and businesses, and they're not worried about you anymore. They basically like, well, if I disengage from this situation and give peace of mind in my life, then I can go ahead and do better without these guys. And that's what they can't fucking stand. They cannot stand. I'm sorry for just ranting like that.
No, you good, bro, you good.
But you can't fucking stand that shit. The biggest problem for most Mitches, I'm sorry, and that's why I call males, is Mitches that complain about women, is that you motherfuckers are broke. You can't even afford this woman's lifestyle now because she done built for herself now. So she done have a whole career. She done bought the houses, bought the cars. Now she doesn't need you. And then you won't come in and say, well, you really need a husband. You need a man around. No, she doesn't. She can use a contract for a lawnmower. I mean, a contract, for a lawn service. Those guys can come mow the yard. Them guys can come in and do the roof. The plumbers can come in and fix the plumbing. I mean, appliance people can come in. They have apps for this stuff now. They don't need us at all. I mean, and I include myself too. Like I say, if there's 10% good dudes and 90% bad, I can't advocate for the 10% because 90% are bad. You have fucking failed as men. So I say 100% women disengage with 100% of the men right now because most of the dudes out here are just trying to do the rug pull right now. They're trying to give you less and you're not accepting less anymore. You fucking shouldn't. Dealing with a man is absolutely a fucking headache today. And that's the killer part about it. And a lot of men cannot understand it. They can't wrap their heads around it because you have not taken the responsibility for this shit. That's the biggest problem for you motherfucking niggas.
Appreciate you. Okay, man. Appreciate you for saying that. And appreciate the cash app. Whatchamacallit, Scuba. And Paul, I followed y'all. Definitely be tuning in. He told me that I'm like your live, so I'm gonna see what you. I'm gonna tune in.
Paul's lives are fun.
What time on your what time do you actually go live, brother? If you don't mind me asking.
So I usually go on around about 6 o'clock. I do like a little pre-thing about 5 to kind of see what subjects I want to talk about. And but yeah, the last couple. And here's the thing: I only been doing this since Saturday, so I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and start developing the schedule. But mainly in the mornings, I'm really kind of doing it because I do stuff like I work at night. So that's why I'm mainly going to go on, and I be on for hours, like for I think the Saturday I was on for like 18 hours. So
I was there for like more than half of it.
Yeah,
18 hours at 6 o'clock. I'm tuning in. I'll tune in because I pretty much get up and work around that time. So
yeah, absolutely. And I mean, like I said, I mean, I didn't realize that it was that bad out here as far as like how guys are making lives to just blatantly shame women when they have failed to launch and they have failed in their lives, and then you want to take that shame and then put it on them. So tomorrow I definitely have some like really good subjects to talk about that stuff, how men are using basically the rug pull with the shaming and submission. I'm definitely going to talk about that tomorrow because I have a lot of stuff I want to involve in that because I want to talk about the after effects of falling for a guy in a relationship and how that looks like and what that entails. So I'm definitely going to talk about it tomorrow. I'm gonna have I'm hopefully I have a lot of ladies come up there and share their experiences because they have helped me a lot to learn from their experiences. Because I was like feeling it because I'm not a woman. I don't know y'all experiences, so only y'all can validate that. So when they come up here and then they give new information, it's wild. And even the women that they talk about, they want the submissive, cooking and cleaning woman. Like they will rug pull these ladies, and now they're like, I don't want to deal with men at all now. Even the passport bros, perfect example, was a young girl that was 25 years old, didn't have any children, was going to college, and then a guy from the U.S. came over to Trinidad, impregnated her, then left, don't have any information about him. So now this young girl is working 2 jobs. She's working 2 jobs right now to support her child. Yeah, her one child in Trinidad, and her friend was on our live telling us, and she's 23, and she's like, this is crazy that my friend has to go through this. This guy came in and love bombed her and tell her all the things, of course, that how he's going to take care of her, make sure she's good and everything. He loves that she's submissive and cooks and cleans. And he went ahead, impregnated her, left her alone, and now she's holding the bag. And that's what's happening with a lot of these dudes. They'll sit there and love bomb you and tell you everything you want to hear. And that's another thing. Like, don't tell these guys what your requirements are. Do not tell them that. They will absolutely use that against you. So he did that. He used it against her. The rug pull. Now they can't even find the guy. They don't have no information on him or nothing. And then with Trinidad, they they don't do child support. And so it's a big deal for her because now she has a child with a man that she don't even know who he is, where he is, or anything. So it's really a scary situation for these ladies nowadays. That's why I say disqualify all men. Rejection is protection for you ladies. Keep doing that shit. Hold the line. Period.
Thank you for saying that, Paul. Like, I really don't think you understand how many women, even in the chat and when you hold your lives, greatly appreciate you standing on business and as a man speaking on what you see and what you witness yourself as a man. It's just reconfirming what our experience is. And for a lot of women, that is a big deal just to hear you, confirm that we're not crazy and we're not imagining the shit. I did want to say that Paul stands on business when he's on his lives and he be getting in their ass, Shannon. So you're definitely going to enjoy his lives. I wanted to say this because this is what I was mentioning in the live before I got in here. I realized I've been thinking about this so much this last few weeks too, actually. I realized women, when we have these kind of discussions, men rush up here because they want to mention how, oh, well, what about infrastructure and men have contributed to this and you need men for that and blah and that. Let's be more specific when we say this, ladies. Women do not benefit from being romantically involved with men. We do not benefit from being romantically involved with y'all. I don't want to work on no fucking oil rig. I don't want to be driving no trash truck. I don't want to be building no fucking house. No, thank you. I don't want to break no nails. I don't like to sweat. Thank you. I do not benefit from being with a man romantically, though. And there's nothing y'all can convince women on that part. Literally nothing in my life has ever gotten better when getting romantically involved with a man. It don't matter how much he makes. It don't matter what kind of family he comes from. It don't fucking matter. Whether he's a provider or not, it don't matter. My life has only ever regressed whenever I had a romantic partner in my life. And that's the sad truth. It's a sad truth, but it is a truth indeed. Be specific when you say we don't need men. We do not need men romantically. Men need us to need them romantically because it is the one thing that they hold over our heads to make us want marriage, to make us entertain partnerships with them, to make us entertain having their children and continuing their legacy, to make us entertain being submissive and coming home to them and being their emotional support dogs. We have been molded and they use love. They use our want for a romantic relationship to keep us in a chokehold and to make us desire something that's not even really real for them. Like, you see, something that's been disgusting me so much, these reels where, like, the wife will be thinking that the husband's trying to be romantic when he reaches over and grabs her hand to hold it, but then he brings her hand over to his pee-pee and he's insinuating that he want to get rubbed on and touched on, and she get upset and, like, jerks her hand away. You see so many men in the comments like, oh, be lucky that he even wants you and he's not going outside somewhere to get it. Be lucky that he ain't gonna cheat on somebody. Y'all wonder why men cheat. Y'all wonder why men don't get married. They don't want to sleep with you when they marry you. It's a trap. It's a trap. It's a trap. Instead of looking at it like, maybe if you were actually romantic 90% of the day, and when you actually want some, she will be willing to give it to you. But because every time y'all initiate affection, it's directly tied to something sexual, it becomes a chore to her. It feels like her body is simply being used. It's not romance at that point. It's not reciprocal at that point. But to them, that's good enough. He touches you, so he loves you, so that's good enough. You should be happy with that. They don't understand how to talk to women, how to be with women, how to make women feel like women. They leave that up to us. We're supposed to just feel sexy on our own. It's not their job to make us feel sexy. And if we don't feel sexy enough to sleep with them, then we're the problem and we're the reason why they step out. It always ends up being our fault. And just like you said, women will get the ick from their husbands and don't want to entertain them physically anymore. And of course, they make it the woman's fault instead of looking to themselves. What have I done? Because let a man not want to sleep with his wife anymore. They're going to say, well, you should probably dress up some more. You should dress a little sexier, walk a little sexier, lose the attitude, put on some more makeup, put on some lingerie, try some new tricks. If you got to go to YouTube, some new tricks. If you got to go to YouTube University and learn how to suck some dip, you better learn how to, they make the project our problem. They never have any room to grow when it comes to anything pertaining to a partnership. So women, stop trying to make it your project. Just stop it. Life will be better. You'll be a lot less stressed. You'll be a lot less, I promise you. Like, we were molded to chase a dream of romance that does not exist for these men. They don't believe in romance. They don't even believe in being faithful. There are men out here that literally think marrying you is a sacrifice to them simply because they know they're going to be held to the standard of being faithful. Let me say that again. There are men out here that think they're doing you a favor by marrying you, and they think they're sacrificing so much more than you because they're required to be faithful. That's just a huge sacrifice of getting married. So if they think like that, please understand, romance is not real to them. Reciprocity is not real to them. You are a service. Nothing more, nothing less. You are a service. And it is your duty. When you get married, it's your duty. When they get married, they're receiving a service. Just remember that. And I land my plane.
Sparky? Okay, 407 Old Town. I can explain. I can explain. 1 second, I'm sorry. Keep your mic on mute. Then you got 407 Old Town. Y'all dudes be slow, man. If you look up top reasons why women are leaving us, right? It will show the reasons why women are getting divorced. I don't understand. So in the divorce rate, women initiate it because of a reason. Irreconcilable differences is not a real argument. There are reasons behind it, right? Top reason: abuse, infidelity, lack of commitment, finances. The fuck do y'all want me to do with that? Get it together. Anyway, Sparky.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Phone's far away. Hi. Yeah, I think this is such an interesting topic because I think a lot of it has to do, especially with the way that men and women view relationships nowadays, has to do with things that have happened not so far in the past, like women. I mean, most women now, or at least my age, I'm 35 years old, most women my age have grandparents who can kind of relate to the fact that they didn't really get together because they loved each other, right? Like when you hear maybe they loved each other over time, maybe they did a good thing, but women started getting, I mean, what was it? I'm so sorry. I'm rambling because I'm really not used to being all alive. But women around, I think 1974 is when they were able to get their own bank accounts. So women started getting all this freedom kind of quickly, and they ran with it. They said, I'm going to take advantage of this freedom. I am going to live my life the way that I want to. But men never kept up with that. Men were still taught that they could have wives and they could have this and they could have the other thing. They never really, men never really prepared themselves for how quickly and swiftly and enthusiastically women would want to and be willing to be single or by themselves. So, and I'm not saying that I think men should not know this because they're grown adult men and they can, talk to a woman if they really want to know this. But I will say that I think that's where a big part of the disconnect comes from, is that a lot of men still today, around my age, and even ones that are being, brought up now, are not understanding that this isn't the 1950s.
Mm-hmm.
That their grandfathers were telling these little kids, well, you're going to find a wife and she's going to do this and that. And meanwhile, our grandmothers were telling us, don't talk to him. You don't have to talk to him. You can do whatever you want. Do the things that I didn't get to do. If that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, I apologize for stuttering. I'm not being on live.
You're fine. I understood what you were saying. You're fine.
Yeah. I just think there's a really big disconnect from men and women, how we both view love, marriage, society, gender roles. And no matter how progressive a guy may seem, I think they hold internalized understandings how they think a woman should be. Meanwhile, that woman is ready to do whatever she wants. Because she was told she could, because she was told by other women she could, because the community of women around her are telling her. And of course. Hold on a second. I want to slow myself down. I can feel myself rambling. I'm so sorry.
You're fine. I pretty much got the gist of what you're saying. You're fine.
Yeah. That's what I mean. I think that men now, and even not that long ago, have not been properly prepared to understand women's viewpoints, because men in the past didn't view women's viewpoints the way they should, and now they're kind of floundering, and they expect something that just isn't going to happen, or maybe it's going to happen, but it's going to be very rare,
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let me see what James got to say. Give me 1 second. All right, James. What's the word today?
Good evening. I'm in the store, by the way, just in case y'all hear background noise. But women were never meant to keep men. Men were meant to keep women. That's how always been, and that's how it's gonna be. Men run a relationship, and the thing that men are concerned about when the woman leaves the relationship with divorce is his money.
Wait, what? Wait, money? Money?
Yeah, because she want to leave with half of what she didn't build.
Why half of what she didn't build? So how long? So if a woman's there in a relationship, why is she not? Especially if you got kids, why is she not entitled to half of the money that y'all built?
Who's the y'all you talking about? I just said that he.
Okay, again, if we're there's many different.
Just like women want to leave with all the children,
I got you.
they ain't leaving half of the children for the man.
There's many different factors, right? So like, some of y'all just be saying shit that y'all don't. I don't think y'all understand what y'all saying. Now, again, if she's going to be primary custody of the child, she's going to have primary custody of the children, because you motherfuckers don't be wanting them, right? If she has the children and y'all been in a relationship for a while, she did build up that house just as much as you did, right? And matter of fact, in our community, why do y'all keep talking like y'all the white man, or like any like? Hold on, James, hold it. I'm proving a point here. Why do y'all keep talking like y'all have the resources and the finances to have a stay-at-home wife when in our community, black women and men are working at the same time? And matter of fact, majority of people don't even get alimony that's on it. Like this shit, this big bad boogeyman. Y'all keep comparing yourself to these rich men. You're not rich. You don't have no money. Like as a collective group, you're broke. Like I don't understand how we keep drawing that. But anyway. What I'm saying is if she gets primary custody of the child, right? Let's say she was a stay-at-home wife, because that's the only way this would work. She was a stay-at-home wife, and she's taking care of the children, she's cooking you meals, whatever type of setup you got. Why wouldn't that woman be entitled to half of what y'all built? That doesn't make any sense. Y'all built that.
The man is not at home building the house. He's at work building for the family. And she won't have for that. She can have all of what she built at the home.
Why shouldn't she get half? If she has majority of the children and she was taking care of the house while you're... Okay, see the setup that you're saying, James. The setup that you're saying is making it as if y'all or us black men have the capacity to have a stay-at-home wife, which is not the case. Because you don't make enough money for a woman to be a stay-at-home wife. That's just the reality of it, right? We're talking about our community. So, but since you're addressing it from that frame, if she's taking care of the children, and then she was taking care of you, and then she had the house in order, always having dinner, and then she's going to be left with the children if y'all get a divorce, why isn't she entitled to half of what y'all built?
She can have 100% of what she built. And then the man should leave with 100% of what he built. And I haven't experienced what you're talking about. My mom never worked, and my wife doesn't have to work. So I haven't experienced that. I can speak from what I know.
We're addressing the setup that you say that you have, which is the stay-at-home type setup. I think
talking about. I don't know why you bringing up brokies, because women don't marry broke women.
You just said that your wife don't work and your mama didn't work. So I'm addressing it in the framework of what you're saying. We're talking about a stay-at-home wife dynamic here. You said your wife didn't work, but if you got her pregnant and you got kids and she's at the house taking care of your raggedy ass, you know what? Of the raggedy kids and the house, making you a sandwich, giving you a feed, doing all these things for you, kept y'all's house in order, right? Why wouldn't she be entitled to 50% of what y'all built? It's not yours.
Ramona.
I want him to answer. Like, what is it? Like, why wouldn't she be entitled if she's gonna have primary custody of the kids, right? And she was the one maintaining the house. Why shouldn't she have or be entitled to 50% of what y'all built? Make that make sense, James?
No, because when I got a divorce, I got custody of my child. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Is that what? Okay, so
she can live with whatever she worked for. She can have it.
Is that the norm? Is that the norm? Is that the norm? We're addressing the norm. However, did she get 50% of your money?
No.
Oh,
if you get a lawyer, she ain't gonna get nothing.
Okay, so she didn't get. Got you. So she didn't get 50% of your money. So you're not the norm, but we're talking about the norm. Why wouldn't they be entitled?
Go down there and put her on child support, make her pay.
Dude, if you want to do, bro, if you want to do that, I don't give a damn. But we're talking about the norm, right? The norm. Address the norm. Why would
tell the young men what they need to do? Go down there and put her on child support and get your children.
Have a good one, bro.
I was just going to remind him that he would not be able to pull the long hours or work as hard at this desk job if his wife wasn't taking care of house and home and his children. This is what these men undermine stay-at-home moms so much. It's sad because if they were left with full responsibility of the children, they would not be able to be as successful at work as they are. They forget that part. And that just shows how out of sight, out of mind it is for them when these women are home feeding, bathing, child rearing, teaching their children. They get to go to work and not think twice about their kids during the day. They don't got to worry about no phone calls about the child being sick or you know, something going down. They get to go to work and not worry whatsoever about their children. They get to come home to think everything being done for them. But yet he thinks that she shouldn't be entitled to some kind of stable compensation for her to continue to stay with the kids, or for her to at least get on her feet and find a job so that she can start fending for herself, because that's usually what these men do. They belittle stay-at-home moms so much, stay-at-home wives. It's like, don't even do it at this point. It's one of the most thankless jobs from the men that put you in that position.
So I want to say one thing. Some of y'all comments are saying that raising children is easy. If it's so easy, then why majority of women do most of the raising kids and majority of the household labor? But it's so easy though. And that's not me spitting some, that's statistics. Women do majority of the household labor and majority of the raising the child. So if it's so goddamn easy, why don't men do it? Why don't men do it to the extent that women do? But it's easy though. I mean, y'all. So, you know, I just turned off the comments now because y'all need to get these likes up. So tap the screen. We'll get it back at 25K. But y'all tap the screen. If it's so easy, why don't y'all do it?
Yeah, I can tell you now firsthand, it's not easy.
Exactly.
It's not.
Niggas just be saying shit.
I'm telling you, I've been with my wife we've been together for 4 years now, married. I'm saying, like you said, most times she's got the kids, you know what I'm saying? She's taking care of the house and everything else, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm at work for 12 to 14 hours a day, so I'll never knock her for that, man.
And matter of fact, y'all need to start asking, not you guys. I'm just speaking to you. Y'all men need to start asking your wife if you want to switch. If you have a stay-at-home wife and y'all got children, I guarantee majority of the women would say, take them motherfucking kids. I've been waiting to get out this motherfucking house. Take it. You do it. Constant nagging of a child, constant screaming, constant picking up toys, waking up and then y'all know y'all niggas don't want to wake up in the middle of the night to change diapers. Y'all niggas be hey, please, you know, I gotta go to work. Y'all don't want that shit. You do not want that smoke. Y'all know y'all don't want that raising children smoke. You know you don't. But then you're sitting here talking about it's easy. Nigga, shut up. Sir, I can't pronounce your name. Kimono Scent?
Comments.
Okay.
So what's
I couldn't read the whole thing.
Yeah. So what's the solution? Yeah. So what's the solution? Where do you go from here? Because I'm married. I've been married for 32 years. Mm-hmm. So I've been away from the dating game. Have I been totally good? No. But a lot of the things, I have a 32-year-old son and a 25-year-old son. And so I know our solution, what we did, is not really transcending to what's going on in this new dating market, especially with the whole dynamic of everything that goes on. Because there's a lot of wrong that everybody get a share of, from my standpoint. I think not just the men, the women, our whole community has to share some of the blame in everything. Not to point no finger at just one person and say, hey, it's my fault. I get it. I understand the prompt. I'm not disagreeing with the prompt. I'm saying in totality of what me and my wife see. We see how we think. We think that the whole thing is just a little bit too much pointing of the finger. I don't know if I don't know. And so I would like to hear what solution can come out of it, because everybody's on TikTok now. Hey, and it's interesting to watch the dynamic of everybody live. And so I guess everybody has an angle that they're going at or whatever, but you really never hear a true solution. I'm just curious because it is so much harder than what's being said, even about raising the kids. It's hard raising kids that have different baby daddies. It's hard. You know what I mean? I'm not taking nothing away from nobody, but it is hard across the board. Me and my wife, we had I was in the military, and so we stayed on public house. I mean on base house. So I only had one kid, and she wasn't working, and so it was kind of different because even the women that were from, and this was like women of all background and races would stayed on the base, and so everybody kind of had the same mentality. My wife had to learn certain things that like, especially like when we got deployed to other countries. She's in charge of the house, so she's running the whole operation, everything, anything that's going on, cars, whatever. She's in charge of it, and so it was a lot of things that both of us had to learn. And so then even when she started to work, and develop into her career, then, it took me to step back and help support her on her vision. And so right now she's a medical office manager. She manage a doctor office, about 5 doctors. And so now here we are today, been together this long. It's a lot of compromising that we made and sacrifices that we made for each other to help each other along the way. And I don't know if I hear any of that coming from the collective group of our community. And I just want to get some feedback from you, from the panel, because like I said, I have a 32-year-old and a 25-year-old, and whenever I bring up solutions to their situations, Dad, you're old. You're out of touch. You don't know. So throw me some solutions.
You literally just said the biggest solution in your own example. You don't know what your biggest solution. You said
no. My biggest, but see that's the thing. My biggest
But you just said the solution. The solution is to work together.
Right.
In your relationship. But listen.
Yeah. Hold on.
You had asked me a question, brother. I'm trying to.
Yeah. No. Because you're trying to minimize my question into a simple term. Because obviously you would have to know that I would have had to tell my own kids the biggest solution, guys, is working together. It's teamwork. I've expressed that, but it still comes back to, I don't understand. It's different out here today. And so I want to hear from your perspective, because you've been giving everybody else a perspective, or the panel gives a perspective of what the dating industry, the marriage industry, what's wrong. And if it's teamwork, then it would have been simple enough for you to have just said teamwork. But and I want to hear.
It's not simple enough because you're dealing with a gender that's looking for. You're dealing with one gender that's looking for partnership, and then you're having one gender that believes the other gender is subservient and they just need to shut the fuck up and follow me, right? So you have men that's not putting their pride to the side, and you got women that's no longer taking bullshit. And instead of them meeting together to be like, hey, we're going to make this work, we need to listen to each other, have empathy for each other, sympathy, grace, all of that, right? But as long as one side is trying to lead, even though you don't have the finances to, right? And one side is more compassionate than the other, then you can't get shit done. So even though the answer may be simple when it comes to relationship, doesn't mean that they don't have inner work to do. So then we got to address misogyny. There's certain beliefs that men have. Oh, appreciate the galaxy. There's certain beliefs that men have that women ain't going for no for. That a woman just needs to stay in her quote unquote place and follow. Be quiet, follow, submit. Right? And you have women saying, I'm not doing that. I'm not working with that. So even though, again, the answer may be simple, that don't mean the implication is, because I'm dealing with human beings. I'm dealing with pride. I'm dealing with ego. I'm dealing with the patriarchy. I'm dealing with misogyny. I'm dealing with all these multifaceted things. And then you got dudes. And then the biggest thing we need as men, we need therapy. When you try to push therapy, motherfuckers get defensive. Still thinking that therapy is for crazy people. And that's not even how that works. Right? You got a lack of education. You got brokenness. Appreciate the double galaxy drop. You got brokenness. All of these things have to be addressed. So, yeah, the answer was simple. But the implication gonna be hard. Because again, you have two genders. Or two smexes, I'm sorry, because some of y'all separating sexes and gender. I ain't got time for it. Just stick with me. You got one smex that wants control, another smex that wants partnership, and if they can't meet in the middle, then it's not gonna happen. So one side is gonna have to put their pride to the side, and I believe that starts with men. Put your pride to the side, get with your woman, work with your woman, love her, and it'll be all right. I'm married. My wife older than me. I'm 20. I'm 28. My wife 33. Married to a black woman. What are we talking about?
I think there might be a different solution, but Shannon, I wanted to ask Mr. Common Sense a question. Mr. Common Sense, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
You said you were married for 32 years. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And you came on here asking for a solution to the modern relationship problems. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so my next question to you is, has your wife ever had to forgive you for cheating?
Yes.
Okay, so you're still married today because she chose to forgive you. So I guess the solution that you're looking for is forgiveness. I rest my case.
No, I'm not looking for forgiveness, because if she would have left.
Solution was she chose to forgive you, which is why you're still married today. Because I'm almost certain if she cheated on you, we wouldn't even be talking and bragging about no 32-year marriage. You're married for 32 years because she chose to choose you again and stay for those 32 years. So the solution that we're looking for, I guess the magical word that we're looking for, is forgiveness, which happens to be one of the main ingredients to why these marriages last 30 plus years, because the woman always has to constantly forgive. You're welcome.
Yes, ma'am. But so not to.
I'm thinking about going to law school, guys. What y'all think? Think I stand a chance in that realm? W in the chat if you think I should go to law school, guys.
So Miss Jazz, so what happened was.
No, but hold on, brother. We're not gonna do the whole. I don't.
I'm saying you gotta at least let me respond so we can get if she want to have real dialogue. Because I'm not.
I don't care about like people personally. I don't care about how we got there. How this like. I'm just like.
Well, She cheated on me. She cheated on me. Matter of fact, she was working at the hospital with a physician assistant. She was working in the accounting office, and she ended up having sex with him. I was stationed in Panama at the time. We didn't have cell phones, so the only way you could talk on the phone was you had to do the international call thing, and we only had one call. I was gone for a year and a half. When I came back, they were supposed to get together and leave, and that plan failed. So years later, we were sitting down, and she actually confided in me and said, "I'm sorry." So I'm not to say that everybody is me, but Miss Jazz, thank you for wanting to get to know more about me.
Who cheated first?
Everybody is, huh?
Who cheated first?
Oh, it was kind of dual. Like I said, I was in Panama.
Man,
so
brother, come on, bro.
No. I'm saying no. I'm telling you the truth. It was dual. I was stationed in Panama. You got to realize this was in 1992, sir. There was no cell phone. There was no computer. So you do realize
whole time. Okay,
so,
y'all. People can recall certain times because I'm pretty sure that was addressed. So I'm asking a simple question.
No. There was no real address. There was just a confining moment. When I got back, God, I can't remember the
brother,
days.
what I'm asking is who has sex with another person first?
I know I was having sex in Panama, but I can't say when she had sex in North Carolina. I can't say that.
Okay.
I just know that the situation came awry when I came back.
Okay.
And it was in the discussion, and so
I got you.
So yeah, that's all. But yeah, not to be and yeah, Miss Jack, you won the chat, you won. Not really, but that's lame. That's not cool. It's no win or lose here.
But you know how he just went into full detail about how and when she cheated, but then he's this like slick mention that he was in Panama, and then continue back to all the details of that she confessed.
But it's no slick mention.
He didn't give no detail about what he did in Panama until after the fact.
No, but see, I never had any intent for this.
Y'all be knowing what y'all doing.
No, I never had any intent to come on here to do, because it's easy for me to say I was fucking everybody. It's easy. I'm transparent. My wife knows. I'm not here to defend my record. I'm trying to get some do better for my kids. And so when I try to tell my kids to do better than me, be better than me. When I emphasize, when I tell my boys, yo, don't do what I did, because what I did was wrong. And I give solutions to them, to their problems. I don't judge. I don't care nothing about none of that. They know. My kids know that I have faults, because they got faults. And I have to share with each one of my sons, my oldest son being a convicted felon, with a mom and dad at home that have good jobs and make money and have given and have supported, with grandparents that are professionals. And it's hard to, you know what I'm saying? And now he's trying to get his life back on track. And I'm there for him. And so I can't just judge him for his mistakes or what he's done wrong. You got to be accountable. So now you got to be accountable. So yes, forgiveness is everybody's plight. Nobody's perfect. If we are, we wouldn't be on this great panel of black people discussing the flaw in our community, which is quit trying to beat one another. This is, hey, you win.
So Common, let me address what you said.
No, I lose, bro. I lose. I just asked for some just communication. I'm not trying to win.
I'm trying to give you the communication, right?
You already did. I'm talking to the lady that was trying to judge me, and without even trying to know me first, without even just talking to me.
I don't need to know you. And to be honest, I believe you're starting to give everyone a headache right now. Shannon did want to interject, so let's let him interject. He is the host. And if I may afterwards, if Shannon sees fit, I want to just ask one last follow-up question.
I appreciate your testimony. I can't decide if you're lying or if you're not. I'm gonna take you. This is the one time.
Y'all to lie to. Why?
Because when somebody says that they don't know who cheated first, that is crazy, right? So that's what you say. You say you know that you was doing all this, that, and the third. Cool, you know what you was doing, but somehow. Oh, okay, he's gone. Have a good one, bro.
I was going to ask him that since he doesn't seem to know who cheated first, if he had not cheated and she had confessed when he got home that she cheated, would he have stayed with her? And I'm sure the answer would have been no. He talking about, oh, forgiveness is on both ends. Men and women got to forgive. Man. No, honey. You only, quote unquote, chose to forgive her because you know you was already out in Panama fucking everybody, quote unquote. So it wasn't because you're so forgiving. It wasn't because you're this upstanding man that believes in forgiveness and your marriage did not last to 32 years because you're such an upstanding husband and y'all worked as a team. She chose to forgive you for being out here in these streets when you were supposed to be serving the country, sir. And she probably saw fit to be a stay-at-home mom while you kept sending that check. And maybe, I don't know, maybe she got a life insurance policy. I don't know. Either way, she saw enough benefit to stick around, but y'all being together for 32 years ain't got a damn thing to do with y'all having such a wonderful foundation. Sounds like a crock of horse hash to me.
I don't know, but it was the one time I was finna give a nigga grace to. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was finna, okay, cool. And then go into what I was saying, but like, I don't know, man. Like, and then you drop and run, like, nah, bro. I don't know about that one. And then my only thing was, like, okay, now he back.
Hey, I'm sorry. I dropped myself because I don't know neither one of y'all, and I don't got a lie for nobody. But I was listening to the rhetoric, and it just ticked me a little bit. That's all.
I didn't even get to speak.
You ain't got to give me shit, my boy. You ain't got to give. And Miss J, you
all right, listen, fuck nigga. I'm gonna do some expressions like you do some expressions. Listen, fuck nigga. All right, why the fuck did you come back then? Want to come back on the goddamn panel? Stay your ass in the goddamn comments. Shut that shit up, nigga. Fuck you, like you the one who requested to come back up. I ain't even get a chance to talk. I didn't even get a chance to talk. And then you come up spitting all on the goddamn panel, nigga. Niggas get on my goddamn nerves with that bullshit. Hey, man, like, bro, y'all see, I wasn't even talking. But when I start going, oh, that's when a nigga get to stuttering, and then they say controversial shit, and it's asshole. That's how they come. That's why they come out. You son of a, you ain't getting shit, my boy. You know what I mean? Fuck you, man. Nigga, shut the fuck, man. That's what makes me mad, boy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have kept it going. I'm trying to stop, but it's so hard to not make fun of older black men crashing out. You know, it just be very riled up. Stupid nigga. Coming up and shut the fuck up. Why did he god dang like get so emotional right there? That shit was crazy. I wasn't even talking. I never even got a chance to speak. I was finna show him grace. And that's the last time I give a nigga grace. God dang me. Cause I know y'all be on some bullshit. You ain't gotta give me shit, my boy. Yeah, man. But that nigga damn near bit his tongue off. He damn near bit his tongue off. I didn't get a chance to say nothing. I didn't get a chance to say anything. I was gonna talk to him and be like, hey, man, listen. I was gonna give him the solutions, nigga. We was gonna sound like a snake.
Looking at you like the fuck is he doing right now?
Oh shit, man. Golly, I'm sorry. I should have. Bro. Sometimes it's so hard not to do a little clowning when niggas come up like that. Now, what was I gonna say? I forgot what he said, oh, solutions, bro. I said we need therapy. You wanna really like get to the root problems, right? You need therapy, bro. We need to start talking about what we holding in, because a lot of men be holding on some stuff inside, or even if we believe it's fake, right? Like whether it's their experiences, we need to get around some professionals that can help us work through these emotions, work through these emotions, work through these problems, right? So we need to get in therapy, and I think we should start putting I don't know if I can say that, I think we should start putting our children maybe in therapy around a certain age. Now, the age is going to depend on y'all. Maybe we should make it more welcoming for our children to come to us. Maybe we should do daily check-ins with our sons and our daughters to make sure some shit actually not going on. Daily check-ins. Not just because they running around and seeming happy and something like that. No, maybe daily check-ins. We got to get this shit early. Right? Maybe so. And also, bro, I'm sorry. Listen. I know some of y'all, I'm not saying unalive. I am not saying unalive when I say this. Okay, I'm not doing it. I'm not going full Frankie. I'm not going full what's that dude's name? By all means necessary. Because he says strictly removal. I'm not going to say that. However, I think there should be a removal of harmful men and women that we know that are harmful. Now, I said and women because niggas be getting their feelings. Even though we know that it's mostly men that I'm talking about when I start. Problematic men in the neighborhood, get them the fuck out. This no snitching thing gotta go. You gotta go. We know who the OGs are. We know who the bang bangers are. We know who the kingpins are. We know who they are. Maybe not you personally, me, but a person knows who they are. So we need to change mindset and we need to start just getting rid of these people. I don't give snitch. Everybody getting snitched on. That nigga doing something, that nigga doing something. Everybody. I don't care. No grace. No, as far as who's being harmful, no grace, bro. No grace. We need to start doing that. Make snitching black again, goddammit. Make snitching black again. People get snitching confused. Yeah. If you're a civilian, it's not snitching. However, we need the people that's also we need them to switch up too. We need them to switch up too. Some of the ones that's actually doing the harm, we need them niggas to come out and say something as well. I'll go ahead and open up the open up the panel some more so we can have a discussion. Lord have mercy. Tap the screen, y'all. Share the live. Appreciate it. What's the dude's name? Geronte, go ahead.
I don't know what's that other dude's problem, but if he's talking about giving people grace and I'm just gonna say this, I don't know why men use that excuse of everybody's not perfect just to excuse their terrible ass actions. Is getting annoying. Just because you're not perfect does not mean you have to do dumb shit that you know is a choice. There's no excuse for the shit that you do. And men need to start taking accountability for it instead of just hiding behind that, oh, nobody's perfect. Ugh, it's just annoying.
Problematic. I'm I'll put you on mute real quick, ma'am. Thank you. Lady, I'm not gonna say that word because we're gonna get shut down. Or laugh.
Hi, and thanks for having me on your panel, everyone. I'm with you. Our community needs to be cleansed. I wouldn't say unalive, however, that probably do sometimes need to be the case. We need to get honor back in our community as a whole, because this non-snitching and keeping up with this bro code or this street code has ruined our people. It has ruined households. It does more damage to us than it does helping or defending or protecting anyone. So yes, I totally agree with that.
Why is your name the
Have you ever seen Harlem Nights? There you go.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Throw it up in the sky and it turns to sunshine.
Yep. I was just about to quote it, girl. Right there.
Okay. Never coming home.
How the fuck did TikTok even let that name go by? That's crazy.
Hopefully it can be spun as a different meaning as well.
Nice lady. Yeah. Thank you.
The female hero, it's the same thing.
Yes. All right. Problematic.
Be real brief because you kind of said what I wanted to really touch on is just that the snitching thing, it's another one of these words that's been bastardized like simp and panderer and all these other words that we take them and we twist the meaning. Snitching specifically deals with the people who are involved in those crimes. That's when it's snitching. If, like you said, if you are a civilian and you see some shit, you are called a witness. It is not a snitch. Okay? You witnessed something. That is not snitching. Now, in our community, obviously, we tend to hesitate to go to the police, not necessarily because we're trying to honor some code, but because we clearly have a distrust rather, of the police and their systems and how they tend to railroad us. And so I think with the conversations that we've had in the last few years about not only police reform, but completely defunding police and moving into other forms of justice and rehabilitative, restorative justice programs, that would make it, I think, destigmatized for us to be able to be a bit more forthcoming when it comes to trying to get some sort of justice, but without getting people unalived by corrupt police or getting railroaded by the system, et cetera, et cetera. So I think those are conversations, but there's a big part of it where we have to remember, no, if you're civilian and you see some shit, you're a witness. It's not snitching. Snitching is if you and 4 people go and rob the bank and then you turn and flip on one of them, that's what a snitch is, because you was involved in the shit.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you. Because that's what I mean. We got to start speaking up. Names. Shiera Int. Shiera Int.
Wait, chill. It's Shy. There you go. It's Shira. It's Hebrew. So my bad.
Say it again.
Shira. It's in English.
Okay,
It's Shira, and in Hebrew it's Shira.
Okay, I got you. Shira, okay.
He's going to be struggling with these days.
Hey man, listen. Niggas can't read. Okay, names will get me every time. All right, go ahead, man.
So I just want to say thank you guys. Because I just got to give both of y'all props, because I had came on here before and people were a little, the men on here was a little they were assholes, to be honest with you. Some of the women said I was slow, but like I sound slow, but I realized I'm like in order to have this conversation with these people, Shannon and Jazz, I need to up my intellectual capacity so I can listen and be able to debate and not get mad, It's cognitive dissonance. So I was like, I need to go read. I need to go get in the Bible. What did God say? My people shall perish for the lack of knowledge.
Like you.
You are hilarious.
Oh, I'm God sent. Come on now. I know who I am. I'm a McDougal. My bloodline traces back to Christ.
Hold on, let me see what Ray-Ban. I had you had timed out when you first tried to come up, so I tried to I brought you back up. Saved your spot. Give it a second. I think she's has come. Well, anyway, y'all please tap the screen, share the live. Quick commercial break. Support the Live God goal if you want to, and also that name that sticker that's up there. Just put a money sign in front of that, and that will be Jazz, my co-host, Cash App. Okay, she left again. Right, that will be Jazz Cash App. She goes out and feeds the homeless in Florida. They made it they put some stipulations on it to where she can get in a lot of trouble. But if y'all would like to do that for her as she goes out and does some Christ-like work, that'd be very much appreciated. So again, that's for you niggas that say I pander for bucks. That's not my Cash App. That's Jazz's up there. So shut the fuck up. I know it's some men in there I know some men in here lurking because I already looked at it. That's not mine. Anyway, tap the screen, share the live. All right. Let me see. I guess I can extend this to. Fuck it. Well, I mean, we can go into open panel. Somebody want to anything. It don't have to be. It don't have to be a specific prompt. We can go into open panel and just what? Who is this? I tried to bring y'all Ray Vaughn again, but like let me know if you want to come up. I'll drop somebody. So if we can address the problem, we want to do open panel. What actually we want to talk about? Oh, I'm sorry. There's 2 people up here that did not speak. God damn it. Lene? Miss Lene?
I think you might have got it this time. Good job. Good job of praying.
No, because my eyes is big than a motherfucker.
Lene,
I respect the hustle. You niggas
come
always,
off.
bro. You're talking about respect the hustle. But hold on. Wait a minute. Wait. I'm sorry. I have to. I can't. Lord, I can't hold it. Nigga, I clicked on your profile picture and it looked like you need to start hustling. Lord, it's hard. It's hard when y'all niggas come up and say something stupid. Dog, you bigger.
Control yourself, Shannon. You're gonna get the
You have
live
no neck.
canceled.
You are big. Like, why do y'all come in? Like, why do y'all? If you know you got a profile picture that where Doctor Now would need to give you some assistance, why do y'all come after me? It don't make sense. Doctor Now walking in this motherfucker like this. Come on, bro. Y'all dudes be built like my 600-pound life, and then y'all be talking about me. That don't make any sense. Now listen. No, I can't even say that. Yeah, we used to be able to say we not all God. Everybody wants to say we all God's children. That's a lie. I can't even say that to you. I was gonna joke around, but my God, yeah, Lord forgive. I'm sorry, Doctor. We need Doctor Now, right now. Stop playing. I respect the hustle. Y'all think everything is Everything is pandering. Everything is simping. Nigga, you need to pander to a treadmill. I'm sorry. Keep hustling, bro. Oh yeah, I'm gonna mute you up, bro. How about you come off private, and then we can have a conversation, man to man. Cause I don't understand. Like, I get you got it, bro. They built like a goddamn circle, and then fucking get mad at me. Shit crazy. Yeah. If you in the shape of a I don't want to talk no more. Bars.
I think the real problem is that you hold them accountable and nobody ever had in their life.
I should no. I'm clowning. Well, yeah. I see what you're saying. I'm just clowning, dude. But you all built like a O. But I'm just clowning. But when y'all come in there and say stupid stuff like that, bro, I'm a trash talk a little bit. It'll be all right. You're a man. You can handle it. But if you meet me with respect, I'll meet you with respect. But y'all gotta stop calling everything a hustle, bro. Because if I really wanted to pander, I wouldn't even talk to you, nigga. You know, this is the funny part. If I really was pandering, why would I even talk to y'all? Like, why would I even talk to me? Why would I even have a co-host? Why would I talk to anybody at that point? Why not just get on here and be going in? That's all I would have to do. I wouldn't even try to have a conversation with me and just just you niggas is trash. Like, just get on here and just say all that, advocate everything, bro. Like, come on, bro. If I really was you know how much money I would be bigger than Ace Metaphor and Derek Jackson. I don't want to pander. And honestly, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how it's hard for me. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I don't know how to get up here and say whatever the fuck women want me to say. I just don't know how to do that. It's weird. Ladies, and honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know how to do that. Ladies, listen. If a man don't have a plan, then there's no way that you can understand or comprehend. Because everything in life is a means to an end. And remember, like Glorilla said, the day gotta end. For we all live in sin and can find the powers from within. The pineal gland, our reach out a hand, got me saying, amen. Shut the fuck. I can't do that. I don't know. And then to get behind the camera and be having all that podcast equipment and your face shining and you start the damn video like this. Ladies, listen to me. The problem is, I would laugh every time. It seems so scripted. That's why I will never do it. I will never do it. Y'all gonna always see a dusty ass nigga on camera in his car or in his work truck dropping a video talking about the topic. You will never see me with podcast equipment zoomed in on my face, music in the background, fucking talking and make it. I am not a podcast nigga. I'm a real nigga. And you gonna get raw, uncut, unedited me. Got so unedited shit. My hair fucked up right now. I ain't got no haircut. This is me right here. You know what I'm saying? Me. If I ain't got no hair, I'm not finna look fly on camera every time. If I ain't got a haircut yet, I was too lazy to go get one. That's it. I'm not finna do all that looking fly on the nothing. I'm not. No. I got to be real. I just got to be real. You'll see me come on this mug with a bonnet. Y'all seen me come on here with a bonnet. I don't know how to do that. But yet y'all keep putting me in this box. It's niggas that's bigger than me. Always niggas be looking too pretty on screen nowadays, bro. Niggas be shining like they came from a goddamn Diddy party with a whole bunch of baby oil on their face. Just looking like, ladies, listen. I can't see it. I can't do it. I can't do it.
First of all, I'm a bad bitch. I can't do it. I'm a bad bitch, so you're not gonna disrespect me when I get my beard lined up and my eyebrows did, and I get my forehead buffed, get the top of my head gleaming with some turtle wax and shit. You're not gonna disrespect me. All right?
I can't do it. Hey, niggas be out here looking like bad bitches, bro. That's crazy. And no, fellas. On some real, bro, ain't nothing wrong with being sharp and take care of yourself. I would never dish for that. I'm joking, but at the same time, what I'm saying is, I think a lot of people make dope content. I'm gonna use an example, right? And Forrest, this is not a diss. You ain't the nigga I'm talking about. You just in the chat. I see you. Listen to me. Forrest has a podcast type thing where he answers questions. Dope content. I know some of y'all may not like him, but that's y'all. But the content and the way that he does it is actually dope content. But as for me, I can't do it. It just does. I can't do it. I don't know how to do it. I would have to write that shit. I would have to write it down. But all my videos are literally me. Nigga, teeth yellow sometimes, you know what I'm saying? But with the camera and zoomed in, I can do it. It don't fit me. It never has. Like even with Stefan Speaks, I can't do it. Stefan Speaks is weird. Not weird. Just that nigga been unmarried for 13 years, still giving women advice. That makes me mad. That's another thing. See, now I'm going off. And we're all over the place. Just listen to me. Stefan Speaks. Where's his wife? Nigga, you been giving relationship advice. He got a big YouTube channel. You've been giving relationship advice for 13 years. You in shape. You're a handsome guy. You got dreads. You built like you play football. But you talking to whip. Where's your wife? How do we keep giving relationship advice with no wife? And why the fuck do you black women keep listening to it? It makes me mad. It honestly does make me mad. I know we just called out black women, but it's the truth. I go over there, and I'm not jealous, and I go over there, and they just be eating that shit. Ace, fucking Mojo Jojo is saying the same shit every video.
I really wish he would just fall into a black hole and disappear.
He's saying the same shit in every video. And so animated, got the big ass captions. That's easy. All you do is put the stuff in the captions app. Oh my God. That's so easy. It's gonna automatically generate captions for you. That's all you have to do. But he begins ladies, listen, stop giving that man attention. Do you not understand how precious you are? Do y'all not see how fake that is? If I ever get to that point, I have sold out. I have sold out. I have left the real realm of real nigga-ish and stepped into we getting this bag. We are getting this bag. Point blank period. That's it. I have left all moral compass behind. I have left integrity behind. I have said, you know what? I'm finna just become one of these niggas because I'm broke. That's exactly what happened. And I'm exposing myself right now. If I get to that point, it's shit then got real. Which will never get to that point, bro. Cause honestly, just saying what y'all want me to say or something like that. Why do you like forced? I didn't say I like. No, the creation of forced content is actually a dope. A person that does content like that is dope, right? I'm not saying what he says. I don't have to agree with everything to say that his content is bad. I'm not saying every point or what he says I agree with. Just like when we had a conversation, we may not agree on everything, but that's the point of men having conversations. I don't have to agree with you all the time. But the way in which he does his content is dope. But I can't do it. And I didn't even have to use him as an example. So it's not to talk bad about him, right? I'd have to use him as an example. I could have just said Stephon Speaks. No, not Stephon Speaks, Ace Metaphor. I could have just said anybody, but I just used him as an example. So we're not talking about Forrest. But anyway, yeah, when it comes to the content, the production, the overall look, the aesthetics, it's nice. But it ain't controversial, Shannon. Anyway, open discussion. We can go ahead and we can go into open discussion if anybody wants to.
That's real quick. Just real quick.
Go ahead.
So it was a dude who said, so wait, somebody has to be married to give relationship advice. And I'm like, look, man, I don't know about you, but if I go to the gym and it's a 600-pound dude talking about I want to be your personal trainer, I'm not going to fucking listen to him. I wouldn't trust him. Why the fuck would you? Right? So like, we got to be real about certain shit. If you trying to tell people how to do something, you should be able to show that you are successful at it. Like, for example, when people ask me for relationship advice, I'm like, look, I can tell you how to fuck one up. That's what I would tell you. Right? I'm good at that. I would never in a million years pretend I know how to have a successful relationship.
No mas.
I could tell people what to avoid. I could tell people red flags that they can pay attention to, but I am not in a position to pretend, oh yeah, I can, this is what you got to do and this is how it'll work and you'll save your relationship. Why would I do that? I'd be full of shit.
No mas. You said I could tell you how to fuck that motherfucker up. And honestly, bro, I don't want nobody asking me for relationship advice because it's going to be very simple. I'm in a Christian-based marriage. It's not going to be applied to you probably. I'm equally yoked in mine. So I believe in some being holding us together, a foundation, which is not just me, her, but me, her, and the Lord. So if you're not a believer, I can't address you like that. However, I wouldn't even want nobody asking me for relationship advice because I've only been married for 3 years. Love. That's my biggest thing, love. And love is not just a goddamn feeling, it's a action. That's it. That's all I got. Bro, love her and you will get what you want in return, right? Feed into her love language. Let her know you care about her. Don't cheat. You know, the basics. Like, people make this shit hard. People make this shit hard. It's not hard. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Wasn't that the golden rule, right? Well, if that's the case, why wouldn't you treat your wife the way you want? Well, some of y'all probably do want your ass whooped. I'm just playing. I went to an extreme, y'all. I'm sorry. Treat your wife the way you would want to be treated. Hopefully you want to be treated good. Meaning don't abuse, don't cheat, don't raise your voice, don't yell, don't curse out. Do nigga the simple things. Don't ignore the small things. Time, effort, you know what I'm saying? Reciprocation, showing things, bring her roses sometime. I don't know, like just ask her what she like, get to know her on a spiritual or I'm not spiritual. Well, yeah, that too. But on a deeper level. I don't understand. Y'all, wait a minute. Some of y'all know how to be loyal. Wait a minute. I'm sorry, I should have used this earlier. You know how to be loyal to your homeboy. So why you can't be loyal to the one who rides? You know how to be loyal to your homeboys, so why can't you be loyal to the one that you're married to? That's my bad. It almost slipped. My bad. Yeah. And she the one who doing things for you and stuff like that and giving you pleasure, obviously, and you can't be loyal to her, but you anyway, that's my thing. All right. Who else got something to say? Oh, I think we got two more people in the Alex.
I got something to say.
Go ahead.
I be telling my friend, don't come to me for no relationship advice. Cause I'm gonna say F that nigga. I'm gonna say don't ask me. I be telling my friends, y'all got one time. You come to me one time, we gonna have that talk. You gotta come back with the same. Don't come over here. Okay? But I was gonna say with the guy, the one that crashed out that was in a service when he was in Panama, whatever the case may be, you were gonna give him some grace.
Yes.
And that's why I be telling y'all, stop giving these men grace. Because he crashed out on you. And I knew when he first came up here, I was like, okay, all right, dude. Yeah, all right. It was a matter of time. And you were actually being nice to him.
Yes.
Yeah, you were actually being nice to him. And he just was crashing out on you, you know? So I'm like, stop giving these men grace, because at the end of the day, that's how they do. They'll show up trying to be nice. He acting like he looking for solutions and stuff. You know, oh, my kids, I want to be able to have the dialogue with my sons. What dialogue are you having? You cheated on your wife. You know, they're watching you cheat on your wife. Oh, but she's a great mom and she had this amazing job, and you know, I'm in the army or I'm in a service, and so we had money. Our parents had money. Our parents had good jobs, and you know, they were professionals. But your son is a felon. So you get what I'm saying? Like, are you telling him what to do, or are you showing him with your lifestyle what to do? Because clearly there's a disconnect, you know? But yeah, that's what I came up here to say is like, yeah, we got to stop giving them grace, because at the end of the day, that's that facade they'll do. They'll come up, oh, that love bombing, that, oh, you know, I really want to do this and I want to build this and I want to do this. And then as soon as they trap you, it's a whole different person.
Give me 1 second, Eric. I'm trying to see. Alex, what's going on, brother?
Let's go.
Open panel, or you're addressing the prompt? What are we doing? How we?
I'm addressing the prompt.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just gonna say like it says like women can't keep a man because men don't want to be kept. And the thing is that like a statement like that stops women from being self-accountable for losing their men. Like it's not always that is that situation, but sometimes a woman can be toxic and can cause a man to leave.
I got you. So we're talking. So let's address the norm though. All right. I never. I mean, this is okay. It's a general statement, and I'm not gonna go off. I honestly don't feel like that. I'm gonna try to have a respectful, peaceful conversation. I'm gonna talk about the norm. Are there some women that jeopardize relationships? Of course, bro. That exists. No one's going to deny that. But the norm, right? If we look at divorces, right? The number one reasons, we can list them again. We're talking about the majority of cases. Why are we talking about these few things, or these few times where women can be toxic, and that's what leads to this, that, and the third? We're talking about majority of the cases. As a matter of fact, I'll ask you this: what's the number one reason women get divorced from men?
No idea.
Say that one more time.
I said, I don't know. No idea.
Okay. Abuse, infidelity, lack of commitment, finances. So the number one reason, abuse and infidelity. What do we like? What? Okay. Now that you know that, right? Mm-hmm. Now that you know, well, I don't know why they separate those two. Like cheating isn't a form of abuse, but they always separate them in any study. But anyway, now that you know that, what would you say now?
It doesn't change what I said, because I said that when I read it out.
I'm talking about the majority.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, okay.
If the majority of women aren't self-sabotaging their relationships and they're getting cheated on by their man, right? if that's what's going on, why would I then talk about sometimes women do this when I'm talking about the majority?
Yeah, that's fine for you to talk about the majority. I was just saying that, just to feel me, because like the thing is that some people can take it that way to where it's like they believe that it's all or whatever, you know what I mean? So it's like if it's most, yeah, no, that's fine, that's valid.
That's what it is. I never said all women. Okay, so it's a general statement. So women, which is a general women.
Yeah, I said agree. I don't know why you're trying to.
I don't remember you saying. That you. I don't remember even you even starting to say you did agree. If you did, I apologize. But when you first came up, I don't ever recall you saying that I agree.
No, I never did until you just explained it to me now, and then you asked me, "Oh, what do you have to say now?" I was like, "Yeah, that's valid."
Okay, but you like addressing like the if the overall majority of the times is that women are going through something with a man which causes them to leave, right? How does this then remove accountability as a majority?
It doesn't remove it. I just wanted to state it. Like, it doesn't necessarily remove it, especially since like it specifies that you're saying most, but that, situations like that can happen to where it's like you interpret it and you're like, oh, all, or things of that nature, and it's like, nope.
Well, I wouldn't never say all women can't keep a man, because there are some effed up women that will ruin a relationship. But if we're talking about the number one reason of why women are leaving or getting a divorce,
W. Also, can I go see? Can I go see that? Like, is there anywhere to see that?
You go read. Just type in top reasons women get divorced.
Oh no, I'm saying like a .org, like a .gov, like is there like a specific?
If I'm not mistaken, there's one on Pew Research Studies too. If you really want to go look that up.
Okay, WW. Okay, yeah, that's all.
Right, yeah. So I get what you're like. So if you're saying like it's some women that do this, of course, I would never take that away. I think that's dumb for me to if I was to put all women do this, that is dumb. No, but okay. Well, anyway.
No, W.
All right, fire.
Yeah, I just looked it up. It doesn't say because of infidelity by men. It says that 69% of women divorce because they think they're unheard or unappreciated, and financial reasons as
what stat did you find that?
That's 69% of all women that initiates divorce.
What study did you find? Because I said top reasons for divorce, right? I said top reasons for divorce. And matter of fact,
I just looked it up. So, but I mean,
what did you type in? Because if I type in, I'm gonna do this again because I have Google open right now. So we're gonna type in top reasons of divorce. So where are you at?
I'm gonna let the
AI.
Where are you at?
I said I went to AI and got it.
Okay, so if I literally just typed in top reasons for divorce. So what answer? Let's compare answers.
No. Hold on. I look. It doesn't really matter because it depends on which study you look at anyway.
Oh, wait a minute. Now it doesn't matter. You just said you're going to A. You just said you're going to. I'm not saying that. You're going to AI overview.
I'm not saying that I'm wrong and you're right or anything. It's not the point that I'm
literally the first thing you said when you came up was that it doesn't say that. That's not what it say. That's literally what you said.
If you want to go that route, we can go that route. Okay.
Yeah, okay. So I literally need a one-track conversation. You came up and said that it doesn't say that. Now that I told you, I got a computer from it, and I typed in top reasons for divorce.
All right, and you say it's infidelity, right?
Lack of commitment, infidelity.
Right, lack of commitment is the one, and infidelity, and women cheat too.
Lack of communication.
What does lack of communication?
But it doesn't
what
mean
does lack of commitment mean?
Hold up, dude.
It's lack of communication.
Right.
Infidelity.
Right. That's what I said. But it doesn't even say that it's men. You're just automatically saying that it's men that's committing adultery and women commit adultery just
I
as
never
much as
said
men.
women don't commit adultery, right? But again, if women are the ones filing for the fucking divorce, why are they leaving?
Because they think it's better. Grass is green on the other side.
No, they don't.
Well, okay,
That's
now give me
stupid. You just
the
heard the
study.
reason.
Now, please, since y'all love studies and stats and stuff, give me one reason where it says grass is green on the other side. I'm looking at a whole list right here.
Dude,
now it's grass. Please, where is that listed at? Where the fuck is that listed at?
I guess you know what? Maybe it's because I'm like older, but you're like an emotional wreck right now. Can you calm
I'm not
down?
an emotional
No,
wreck.
you're
Okay, hold
gaslighting
on,
right
Jazz,
now.
hold on,
He's
hold
That's
on.
not.
Hold on.
No, he's like
It's just
cussing,
funny.
and he's
No,
like,
I get
oh my gosh.
I get very animated because it's just funny that you guys say
It's
something.
a feminine quality, dude.
Yeah, it's always a feminine quality. Yet you niggas are buck broken and don't have no smoke for. Anyway, y'all always say something crazy. Feminine quality, right? It gets on my nerves. Feminine quality to show a little bit of passion and blah 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 blah. Whatever. That nigga just left. Bye.
He ran.
Bye.
He couldn't back up what he said.
Bye.
That's what that was. He just heard you list the reasons, and he just heard you say that this is based on women initiating divorce, and he tried to claim that it was another reason.
Shit is crazy.
The grass is
And I
greener.
started off calm. One thing I don't like is when we're having a conversation and I get because I literally was calm the whole time, and then you come over here and say something that I literally can't find. Wherever does it say women think the grass is greener on the other side? Like literally, y'all said you said the grass is greener on the other, and maybe it's because I'm older. Okay, so now when you say it's because I'm older, that means you're going to use your freaking anecdotal experiences and probably be listening to a whole bunch of red pill content that's saying irreconcilable differences. Then I got to go down that rabbit hole. You niggas be lying. That's the problem. That's the problem. I don't like liars, bro. The shit literally is in front of my screen right now. Did you first came up and said that it doesn't say that? I'm wrong. That's what you said at first. Then when I said, okay, what did you type in? Because I'm gonna type in something too. Now when I bring it up and I'm having it in front of it on my screen, well, now we don't need to talk about that. That's not the point. You took 2 times you tried to gaslight me, and I stayed calm. Then your behind said it's because the grass is greener on the other side. Nigga, if the grass was greener if women truly thought the grass is greener on the other side, it depends on what women you talk about. Women in general, they wouldn't even be fucking with men in America. They would be sharing a man from different cultures, right? Even though those men are bad, but they'll go to where they can get some funds and probably actually be taken care of and travel and all kind of stuff like that. If they truly thought the grass was green on, do y'all understand how stupid the talking point be?
It's really dumb because the reality is this, y'all. Like, if women really thought that, they wouldn't stay so long. They wouldn't stay so long in these abusive relationships. If they really believed, oh, let me get out because I feel like there's something better on the other side, they wouldn't put up with so much BS. So that talking point, like, that's new one to me.
Somebody said it's not grass, it's gravel. That is funny. Somebody said it's not grass, it's gravel. That's crazy. We're talking about men in America, bro. The collective group of that really makes me upset. That pissed me off. Like he took me 2 different times trying to gaslight, and then when I finally respond, bro, really? That's what we're doing? Anyway, go ahead, She Styles. How you doing?
Hey, I just want to say I love your content. I watch you almost every day, and I try to engage. So thank you for having these panels. My thing is, when I saw this, I was triggered, right? Because he just said that he was an older guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I dated a guy that was 55 years old, and I'm only 40. And my mom always said, a single 50-year-old man is a lonely man. I never understood that until I found out he dated a woman for 10 years, had a baby by her, and said she wasn't good enough, then dated another woman for 10 years. So for 20 years of his life, he dated 2 different women, made babies by them, and then said he was the prize. And then said that women were gold diggers to the other dude that was on this panel saying we want money. I make six figures, and I'm not saying that to brag. But the problem with that is men then say, oh, you too independent. What's wrong with you? You don't need a man for nothing. And it's crazy how in one breath they say, we gold diggers, but then when we making our own, is you too independent. You got to pick your poison. Like, which one is it? Are we too independent or are we gold diggers? And I've noticed that the more I actually I actually met a guy. He's a great guy. I've been dating him for about 4 years now. He's from Ghana. And he told me, he said, it's easier to date in America than it is in any other country. And the reason why is because y'all take the bare minimum. These men do not provide. They lay up on you. They say that you're less than. They use you for smecks. And then they run to the next woman. He said, whereas we come over here, we opening doors. Y'all look at that like it's chivalry on times 10. And that's just the bare minimum for us. And I think that the conversation that you're having with these black men, especially in America, it's not to shun them, but they don't want to be accountable. They don't want to be held accountable. Me personally, I was raised in a two-parent home. My dad always taught me, don't ask a man for something that you don't already have yourself. If you can't provide it, you don't need it. And so I just find it funny that the men that are coming up on this panel talking, half of them either arguing from stuff that they don't have, they don't build nothing, they can't even change a flat tire, but they coming at us like we're the problem. I saw that story earlier, and I'll land my plane here. It was another girl about, it wasn't the Risa Tisa, but it's a lot like another story. But he made a comment. He said, show me the women that are out here going out making babies by 20 different men, being on a down low and sleeping with multiple women. You don't see that story, but you see it with men. That's all I got to say about that.
Black muscle.
Good man, you're right, yeah.
Yeah, what's up? You know what? Hey, hold on. I'm gonna call you your real name. If I would have known that this was you, I would have addressed you in a much appropriate manner last time because you do have wisdom. Little black book.
By grace. Allow me.
From YouTube. Do you understand? Like, I watched your content. Like, when you be bringing in the scripture. I did not, like, me and my wife watched your content, but your name on here is different.
Yeah, I dance on hearing it, so it's different.
You should have taught, like, if I would have known that. I would have known that was
by grace. Please.
No, me and my wife be watching your content. You do be having wisdom, especially when you go over the scripture and stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, but what's going on, bro? What's going on?
What's good, man? It's an interesting conversation. I won't lie to you because, I see it from several points, but I do understand from one angle of lens, going according to the prompt, and it's saying obviously most divorces are men's fault. I guess my natural instinct is to argue it, but I want to look from a perspective of leadership, right? So from a leadership perspective, from my perspective, the first mistake always is the choice of the person you actually choose, right? Before we even get to maintaining someone in a marriage. So for me, from a man perspective, from a leadership perspective, I would agree with the prompt and say, first and foremost, from that perspective, your first mistake is always choosing someone, whether you're a man or a woman, but I'm going to talk from a men's perspective. So in that respect, I agree with the prompt. I think that the additional aspect, though, in the relationship, which is really interesting, though, is, for instance, I'm on Psych Central, right? And the top three, as you mentioned, actually kind of similar to what you said.
What did you say?
Oh,
I couldn't hear you.
Sorry, I was saying I was on Psych Central.
The
top three that they mentioned in terms of why divorce happens, especially in US, is lack of commitment, constant arguing or conflict, and number 3, infidelity, right? And number 4 is actually marrying too young. Let's take the first two even, right? Lack of commitment and constant arguing or conflict. This requires two people to be involved. That's the difficulty behind it. It requires two people to be involved, right? Because first and foremost, you've got to if someone's got a lack of commitment, you've got to choose the right kind of person who is a committed kind of individual, and that requires a vetting process. But the second one specifically, constant arguing and conflict, requires again two people. So this has to be vetted before you even get into a relationship. Now, do I believe that men play a part in this? Absolutely. Once you're in a marriage with somebody, you've chosen them. You've both chosen each other. So at that point, when there is an argument or conflict, when arguments and conflicts are happening, that takes two people to be involved. You know what I'm saying to you? So for me personally, I think I can see where the prompt is going, and I agree to some distinct perspective. And if I was talking specifically to men, I would address them this particular way, the angle you've brought. If I'm talking specifically to men, I would tell them that you have to be accountable for the choices that you make and the choices that you actually and the results that you get from a situation. For me personally, and someone said, yeah, what side do I say choose better? I believe men and women should both choose better.
But
Both people should choose better.
the problem with what you're saying is a lot of men out here sell agents. They're agents of chaos, and they sell themselves to be one person, and then years later you find out they're somebody totally different. So what do you say to that crowd? Because I've met a lot of them.
Well, let me.
They're not the majority. That crowd is not the majority.
Actually, go ahead and address her, and I'll.
Yeah, that crowd is not the majority. We tend to do this a lot. I've coached so many people as well, and it tends to be that case where everyone goes, well, what about the liars? The liars are not the majority. The majority of people actually have problems in terms of you yourself are a problem, and you encounter other people who are problems. And so actually, when I coach people, what ends up happening, they realize that they themselves are a problem. And then you encounter someone else a problem because your discernment's off. So if your discernment's off, it's usually because there is some kind of brokenness within ourselves, which most of us are going through those situations. We've grown up in households which are not very loving or very, very caring. So a lot of times when women say, obviously, the men are liars, that is not the majority of what happens in these relationships. What happens in relationships is, as it says, the lack of commitment and constant arguing and conflict. It's not about liars. So we shouldn't make that. And I'm not saying your worldview is wrong in terms of you having people around you that have been lied to. That's not what we're saying. What I'm saying to you is that is not the prevalent majority. The prevalent majority is the issue is actually lack of commitment and constant arguing and conflict. That ain't liars. Do you get what I'm saying to you? That's why I'm saying that everyone has to do better in terms of vetting first and foremost, and secondly, learning how to maintain. Because between men and women, the way that we talk to each other, the way that we deal with each other, sometimes because we're so broken, we don't even realize that some of our behaviors are sabotage each other, right? So if I'm a man and I know that maybe yourself, sorry, I didn't know your name. Is it Shesti? Like let's say, for instance, right, you have a way that you've dealt with when you were in your household, your family. If I don't learn you enough, what will tend to happen is you'll do something and I won't understand it, so I can't beget empathy. And what ends up happening is once that happens, I'm going to react to that probably from my own triggers, and I'm going to respond badly, which is why number 2 is constant arguing and conflict. That happens when there's a lack of understanding. So for me, it's not about lying.
What study are you getting from that they actually have excessive conflict at number 2?
I was just on Psych Central. It just said, obviously, from a national survey from 2005, remains the most large-scale report about leading cause of divorce for the nation in America. So it was this lack of commitment, number 1. Number 2 was constant arguing and conflict. Number 3 is infidelity. It actually lists like 12 of them, to be honest. But yeah. So I just took that.
Isn't it lack of communication, not lack of commitment? Because lack of commitment would probably fall under the same umbrella as infidelity.
Probably, yeah. I wouldn't.
Lack of communication.
Okay, so like you said something. So here's the problem. Well, I ain't saying a problem, but yeah, it's a problem. But we could address it as men. This vetting word. I get what you're trying to imply, but I think there's only so far that discernment can go and vetting can go, because people are people, right? And again, I think that's what we had the conversation last time. That when it comes to the men's point of view, we know, which is it's messed up, but I'm gonna say how it is. We know how to say the right things, do the right things, put on a mask. And I'm not saying women don't wear masks too. I just think the majority of the times we know how to get what we want. Some men know how to take what they want. I'm not gonna bring that into it. I'm not gonna say coercion. But y'all know what I mean. Just we have to stick right there though. So, what about the deceiving nature of man as well? Because there's a lot of deceiving that's going on with the men, putting on the front. I mean, we got stories of dudes waiting to take women straight down the aisle just to steal her virginity and then leave her. Yes, you can look that up. I'm not kidding. But when it comes to this whole discernment process and things like that, we've made it a game. We call it game. We call it manipulation. Sleeping, that's something that men do a lot. So I don't know how women can't vet men. It's just, I'm sorry, like the vetting that we're talking about will require perfection, and they don't have it. And matter of fact, men can't vet men. And the reason I say that is because you're not dating men. I'm not dating men. Men aren't dating men. We can think that a guy is good as a person, but with women behind closed doors, he's a damn deviant. Sorry for cursing. He's a deviant. So I don't know if I could actually agree with the discernment process process. I think women discern the best. I think in most cases, women discern the best way that they can. But you can answer that.
I would agree. Listen, I'm not saying it's infallible. It's not infallible that you're going to get it, 100% right. The reality of the situation is that a lot of us have poor discernment. That's just reality. Both men and women, right? We have poor discernment. This is why there's so many men complaining about women, and there's so many women complaining about men. It's bad discernment. And a lot of times when you are coming from a place where, especially if you grew up in a household where there wasn't a lot of love, or the love was maybe in a space of they loved you conditionally. What people don't realize is that those patterns exist in the relationships that we actually end up choosing. And that's what I'm saying to you. Majority of relationships break down are not because someone lied. That's why I said that psych central thing was not about someone lying. It's about people that actually have a communicational issue. And so when we start flipping it to make it the whole extreme that every single thing is a lie situation as to why it happens that way, I think that we're putting too much emphasis on someone that's a minority. When I'm coaching people, what tends to happen is, for instance, people will choose people that are very similar to what their parents are, and then they'll be like trying to solve that puzzle and not realizing that they're doing the exact same thing in a relationship. And that the way that they showed up is that they're trying to get something from the relationship, which they should have had as a child. And then that ends up actually distorting the relationship that they're actually in. So if someone can show me a stat that says the majority of reasons why men and women break up in a marriage is because men lie, I'll rescind what I'm saying. And I'll say, do you know what? I'm rocking with you and I'll go with it. But from what I can see, that's not the reason why.
Who said that up here, though? Did anybody say up here that?
No. I'm just saying in terms of the majority. I'm saying in terms of the majority. If the majority is that men are lying and that's why marriages are breaking down, then we can go with that. If that's not the majority of reasons why the relationship breaks down, the marriage breaks down, then that's not the majority. The majority seems to be a communicational issue.
If infidelity is one of the main reasons why women initiate divorce, does infidelity not entail lying? Don't you have to lie in order to be a cheater?
Infidelity is number 3.
Yes,
so number 1 and 2 is communication.
No. My question was, does cheating involve someone having to lie?
We know it does, but it's not number 1. It's not number 1.
Okay, right. So if you marry that person, you're committing and you're saying out loud in public that you're choosing to be faithful to that person. Meaning you're a liar if you get into a marriage and you decide to cheat on that person and you have to sneak around and do it on top of that. No one gets married to be in an open marriage. So that does constitute like that shows that that somebody's a liar if that's what they do in a marriage. And if women are not gonna date men that they know are going to marry them and cheat on them. Women are not going to marry men that they know are going to cheat on them throughout the marriage. That all involves lying. That all involves you presenting yourself in a certain way that you have no intention of upholding. And it's something that happens continuously until one party gets fed up. So and sometimes discernment has absolutely nothing to do with that. And the way that I try to fit this into a scenario that makes more sense to men, it's like a job interview. You can have somebody that did 1,000 mock interviews, so they nail this interview, knock it out the park. You ask all the hard questions. You probably one of the top people in the company. You ask them all the hard questions. They pass with flying colors. You hire them, and then they get on the floor and they do absolutely fucking nothing, or they screw up the job, or they're lazy, or they call out all the time, or they end up being a thief. Whatever. They just end up being a terrible employee, but they nailed that interview. Their resume was straight. They have the work history to prove that they have some kind of experience in the job. But when they're on the job, you see a completely different person. And then what? They get fired, right? But do you take accountability for that because you're the one that interviewed them and hired them? Or do you have that person who didn't follow through what they said they were going to do and do what they're getting paid for? You hold them accountable by firing them. This is what I mean by stop using the word vetting, because you only know, you're not going to know that employee is worth a damn until you have them on your payroll and they start the job. Does that make more sense?
Oh, it makes sense, but you just shifted the goalpost because number 3, infidelity is not number 1, it's number 3. So that's what I'm trying to
Well, no, I'm using that as an example. That's irrelevant.
I think she was trying to hold up.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all start. I think she was trying to correlate.
I get the correlation.
Okay, because so so we're talking about marriage and then divorce, right?
I agree.
Okay, I take God-fearing man and God-fearing man. I take vows in front of the preacher, and to God, to be faithful. To be faithful, right? I cheat. What did I do?
You lied. I'm not saying you didn't lie. I agree.
Okay, so that's the correlation that she wasn't shifting the goalpost. She was saying, well, even if that's number 3, but it goes into number 2 because infidelity is number 3, right? It's a lie. So I think she was trying to correlate the lie being with infidelity, the third one, right? So it was a lie. So I don't think it was shifting. I don't think it was shifting the goalpost. But what do you actually mean by shifting the goalpost?
Because it makes infidelity making the top one, and that's not the top one. The top one is actually.
That's not what my analogy means.
I get the analogy.
Hold
the analogy.
Hold on.
I'm not disputing the analogy.
That is not what I was doing. Shifting the goalpost.
So can I explain why I said that?
Is it no? I can finish what I was saying. That doesn't mean that I was shifting the goalpost. That doesn't mean that I was making infidelity the number one reason. That's irrelevant. It's one of the top reasons why women initiate divorce. So it definitely addressed what you said regarding vetting, discernment, and liars. 3 birds, 1 stone.
Also, can I ask a question too?
1 second, because he wants to answer Jazz.
So the reason why I said that it shifts the goalpost is because whilst that may be one of the top 3, the top 2 are actually to do with communication and to do with 2 people actually being involved in a situation, which is actually part of the vetting. You would know this if the person has bad communication skills or bad what we call conflict resolution, which oftentimes we actually have it ourselves. That's why I said about vetting. Because that actually you can actually vet that from the very beginning about how you actually deal with situations before you get married. How did that person handle situation A, B, and C? How do they deal with it in this particular way? That is what the vetting goes for. Now, infidelity is number 3. That's what I said. That's why I said it feels like a shift.
Hold on, let me throw a little caveat in there.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, go for it.
Depending on what study you use at the time, right? Those 2 switch. Sometimes it'll be labeled infidelity number 2. Sometimes it'll be labeled number 3. So they're interchangeable, depending on which actual one that you read, if I'm not mistaken. Based on when you do the comparative studies from one study to this study, those 2 interchange.
Okay.
Well, his study is over 20. Also, his study is 20 years old. So I would not rely on information that's over 20 years old. Especially with me going to college now. Yeah, no, it's my professors and most professors, if you're doing any type of data researching, do 5 years and up. Like can we get a study that's more relevant in 2025? Something from like 2022, 2024, 20.
I'll try to find one.
Here's the thing, like, hold on, Black. You want women to be psychics and freaking magicians. Like, you're talking about discernment? Sir, you don't know. A person can mask for years. Literally. I feel like you're gaslighting women. Because a man can pretend to be something long enough to get exactly what he wants or to get exactly where he wants to be. Then all of a sudden you start seeing a different side and you're like, wait a minute, where did this come from? That has nothing to do with the woman's inability to vet. If you want to say vet, they vetted what this man presented to them. You got some men that will pretend as though, you're my wife, you're my one and only, and then got wives in other states and other countries. Like, how is a woman supposed to vet that? Like, I feel like you're being disingenuous with the conversation.
Wait, before we continue, Jazz, can you do a mod duty? Because we've got 254 people, and we're not even at 100K yet. So,
hey, you guys gotta tap that screen. Tap the screen, share the live, please. Thank you very much.
Okay, y'all, yeah, y'all tap the screen, share the live, support the live goal if you want to, all the good stuff. And remember that Cash App is not mine. That goes straight to Jazz. She feeds the homeless. So if y'all want to donate today, y'all go ahead, just put a money sign in front of that name. It's up there. Thank you. All right, hold on. Devontae, you keep your mic unmuted, but brother can only answer one question at a time. So, Black, she asked you a question.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Who asked the question? Was it? I know Six Figures was talking, so I don't.
But did you ask a question, or did you just say that you think he's being willfully obtuse or disingenuous?
That's fair.
Yeah, I feel like the conversation, I feel like he's just being disingenuous as far as the conversation is concerned. Because you know good and well that people can pretend for a very long time. And you know this. And you know that men will do certain things when it comes to women to get what they want. Whether it's, I love going on dates and spending money on my girls. And then that's what or on my women. And then that's what they do for like 6 months or a year. You get what I'm saying? And then when that woman, quote unquote, falls in love and said, "Hey, let's move in together," all of a sudden that man stops spending money. All of a sudden you be like, "Well, where your money at?" Like you're gonna pretend like men do not do this a lot? Is that what they're telling us?
Well, hold on. Let's just see. Let's see if you answer this question genuinely. Right? If you had to guess, just be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Which gender do you think is causing the most harm in the relationship? Do you think it's even, or do you think it's particularly coming on one side more?
I don't have the stats, so what I would say from my coaching perspective, I'd say you can lean a bit more to the men, but I coach majority women, so I'm going to hear their stories more. But yeah, you can lean slightly more to the men. I wouldn't have stats on that, so I can't really say 100%.
Okay, so let me answer. So somebody got their answer. He is not purposely coaching. He's not purposely coaching majority women. They're calling in. If y'all want to see that actual happen, y'all can go to his live and go to his YouTube channel. They're calling into him. I don't know what y'all want me to do with that. Women are calling in outside. Women are calling in on his show not his show. Women are calling in and clicking his link to be coached by him. All right, so
the reason why they're calling is because the work that I do is about dealing with patterns of roots. That's how I can tell you that people are making bad decisions. When I coach people, I coach them from a root perspective. We understand where they come from and why they make choices. If people don't realize that the choices that they made are as a result of the roots that you have, you don't make decisions based in a vacuum, right? For instance, MPD is only like 1% of the nation. Let's say it goes up to 3% because some people don't report themselves. Fine, it's still going to be the majority, right? So the whole point is that we actually choose people based on a lot of times we choose people based on the patterns that we've actually already existed in when we were younger. So when I say that I'm looking from a perspective in a space where the relationship, I'm looking at it from a perspective of if you don't know how to conflict resolute, if you're someone who doesn't know how to communicate your wants and your actual needs, if you're somebody who's an overgiver, right, which I find a lot of women are also oftentimes overgiving because they believe that their worth is tied into their giving. That's not a positive, that's negative. If you're somebody who believes their worth is based in you serving other people only, then what ends up happening is you end up meeting takers. There has to be a balance. So when I'm saying from a perspective of how people end up in certain relationships and why you got to vet it, it's because first and foremost, you've got to vet yourself. You've got to really do some analytical work on yourself and sit down with yourself and actually understand, wait, how do I think? What are some of my results in the past? If I've dated similar men, at some point I've got to be accountable for my life and the results I have. If I keep dating men that are liars, that I have to ask myself the key question, how am I showing up? Maybe there's something about me that I'm not being truthful about. If I keep dating people that are, that abandon you or leave you alone, you got to ask the real question. What parts of yourself are you abandoning that you end up dating people who are going to abandon you? And so a lot of times...
So wait. So you mean to tell me that since I was a...
I just wanted to say something. I was right about them interchanging. And I had to fact check this. But it does say, according to Pew Research studies, the primary reason for divorce is lack of commitment, with the large percentage of respondents citing it as a major factor. And then it goes into infidelity. Conflict and arguing is number 3. So they are interchangeable.
But lack of commitment is at the top. as for.
But that,
Wait,
if I'm not mistaken, lack of commitment can be tied into infidelity, because I'm not if I cheat, I just broke my commitment. If I'm not mistaken, or maybe I'm reading this shit wrong.
No,
it
you
wrong.
were
I
right.
swear. I swear you're not reading it wrong. And this is why I kind of like, bro, like, to be honest with you, you said that people choose other people based on like the routes that they're taking in life, right? You mean like the different directions they go into. Sometimes a thing that happened when they were younger, right? And then you said that if I keep attracting people that are liars or people that abandon me, there's something in that person that they may have to fix. This is what I have to say to that. If you are dealing with that as a person, it is not because of you. It is because of the person, of them making their own choices. No, I can be the most imperfect woman in the world. I cook, I clean, I take care of every single one of these children. I make sure that, he's got his lunch every day. I do all of that. And if a person, whoever I'm with, and this is just, I date both men and women. If whoever I'm with, I'm doing everything to cater to that person, and they still choose to lie and cheat and manipulate and do all of those things, that has nothing to do with me. I did my job. I'm stepping back. That's what you're supposed to do as a human. And at the end of the day, you can say this has to do with their childhood, but I did not choose. There was nothing in me as a child for my grown-ass father to abandon me, sir. So, I'm not about to sit here and take accountability for other people's fuck ups. Excuse my language. I'm just gonna be real here. I'm not putting on no persona. I'm not doing none of that. I'm gonna be real here, because at the end of the day, this is real people having real conversations about real solutions, about real situations that people go through.
Well, I actually want to ask that. So, Black, when you say that most people are choosing relationships based on the way that they were raised, where can I read that at? And it's not a trick question. I'm asking, like, if you have the information on that, please share it so I can go read it.
Well, I mean, there's something called attachment styles as part of it. It's only one part of it. If you look at psychodynamic psychology, that aspect too, as well.
There's a study that's relating to say that.
I don't know about studies. I don't look at studies. What I know is the part of the psychology of psychodynamic, and also things like by John Bowlby and Mary Ainsworth, which is one thing called attachment styles, how we actually create emotional bonds in relationships. And how
do you draw your conclusion? Okay, you just said you don't do studies.
I don't necessarily do studies like that. No, I research. Of course, I read whatever, but I don't necessarily read.
YouTube University.
Hold up.
That's it's fair. I'm not going to say you. My qualifications are not based on academics, so there is no academic thing that's going to be based in. My results are the people that I actually coach, and if you speak to them, you'll hear it. And if you watch my YouTube channel, you'll see it. That's why people actually reach out to me, because sometimes wisdom is not always a book. Wisdom is the results we get. And so when I'm dealing with people, I deal with them on a root level. So when, for instance, Zenas, and by the way, my heart goes out to you, Zenas, because obviously what you've been through, I don't wish on anybody. When you spoke about obviously your father, sorry.
No, you good. I don't mind you answering. It's just that when I never really heard a man say I don't use stuff. Maybe one. But
I would have lied.
And if you're doing that, if you're using your coaching and all that to form your answers, that's cool. But then I would start to say that that's kind of anecdotal. But then when the numbers start to say that most divorces are framed because of this, I don't know how I could then tie what you're saying in to the numbers. Because most divorces are this, right? Mm-hmm. And happening because of this reason. I don't know if I could take and I'm not saying it's not a good what you're doing, but I don't know if I can correlate it, because the numbers are saying, hey, most of the stuff most of the reason that people get divorced are because of lack of commitment, infidelity. That's due to Pew Research study. Like I said, they're interchangeable. I'll give you grace on the interchangeable conflict or argument and lack of communication or whatever. But infidelity is interchangeable, right? They swapping it out. But if this is the reason, right? If that's what the numbers say, then how do you go against the numbers? And I'm not saying most. What? No, actually, I have to say most because if most divorces are because of this, then I have to go with what the numbers are.
Yeah.
So, but how do you then put your antidotes into the numbers? That's all I'm asking. It's not a trick question. I'm just
No,
saying.
no, no. It's a good question.
Okay.
I wouldn't wrestle with it because again, lack of commitment. We can say it could be that, but we don't actually know. We're assuming that it actually is part of the actual aspect. It's not necessarily a guarantee. It's what we're sufficing to it. If we were just to keep it as a lack of commitment and keep it as that, right, and not try to superimpose anything onto it, right, the lack of commitment aspect, and take that infidelity part out, then there's actual aspects where you would have to vet the process of how people choose people. You know what I mean? Because people that lack commitment, oftentimes, quote unquote, from the current attachment style, are usually avoid people who avoid actually meeting your needs because they themselves are afraid because they've been emotionally neglected from their childhood, right? These people, you can spot them from before you get married.
So
And so
that's the correlation.
That another person is accountable for them doing wrong to another person. Like we
it's
should go
almost
by the golden,
like
we should go by the golden rule of treat people how you want to be treated. Like Shannon was saying earlier, like at the end of the day, it people can have avoided attachment styles. You can have freaking ADHD, whatever. That still does not excuse you from being a horrible individual.
So
I'm sorry. That's just me. I don't care who it is.
I just have a question for you. Like, you're a dating coach, and I'm not saying this in a condescending way. This is a genuine question. Like, what is your success rate with marriages?
In terms of?
In terms of you coaching people on how to date into marriage.
Oh, I'm not a dating coach.
So when you say you have clients, what do you mean by that?
I'm a relational coach, but I deal in the area of wellness and health. So
but
psychology.
So those are two different things, right? Because you
Yeah.
can be a coach, a life coach, but when you say you're a relationship coach, what is your success rate with coaching to relationships specifically?
So what do you mean coaching? I mean, am I coaching people into relationships? Is that what you're saying?
What is your profession? Let me start there.
Look, first of all, I'm a YouTuber. I'm a content creator. Secondly, I'm a relational coach in the sense of I help people have better relationships with themselves. I often encounter, I have people that are married,
when you
single
say
and
that
divorced.
you're a relational coach, you
Yes.
mean people with relationships with themselves, right?
They can be single, married, or divorced. I have a whole bunch of them. Yes.
But I'm asking, what is your success rate of people who have dealt with your services and said, I am now successful with my relationship with myself and or other people?
I don't know how you qualify that in a sense.
Okay, so
you know what I mean? Like,
I got you.
do you know what I mean? It's a metric. I don't know how you qualify.
I got you. I can frame this better. Do you have a lot of people speaking on your behalf to say that your knowledge has helped them in their relationship?
Yes.
Okay. And don't you have those videos on your channel?
Well, my videos are not necessarily tied into it, but yes, you can see that. You can go on YouTube and see those videos. Yeah.
What's the percentage rate?
So if you was to guess, like your information versus like out of all the people that you, I guess, coached or whatever, give a real answer. What would you say the success of that has been? 60% out of 100, 50% out of 100, 40, 49. Like if you could actually
be honest, you know, without tooting my horn, I like to say I'm in the high percentile 90s. You know what I'm saying? See, like if I'm really honest.
That sounds more like an opinion. I'm asking for factual evidence. What is your percentage?
How do I okay, my role as a coach.
So the answer is no.
Wait, my role as a coach.
I'll give you an example.
Wait. Let me explain this. My role as a coach is not to get you into a relationship, by the way. Right? So the only thing that could actually be measured is if someone, for instance, maybe a married couple comes to me and says, you know what, we are in a better place. Right? Which I've only coached like maybe 5 or 6 couples, right? I've got 5 of those couples say we're in a better place. So then I can measure it that way if you want to quote unquote measure it. But because let me give you an example. Maybe I need to give you an example.
So I'm a claims manager for a Fortune 500 company. I'm known for rehabilitating adjusters. Out of 50 adjusters, 75% of those adjusters are rehabilitated and they become more successful in their job role. I can say, honestly, 75% out of the 100% that I get are successful in their job role. So what I'm asking you is, I know it's not the same profession, but in your profession, out of the 100% of people that you get, whether it's internal relationship or external, what is your percentile of successful rates? Whether it's them saying, I love myself more, or I can love other people in a healthier way. What is your percentile?
Oh, thank you. That's actually a better way of putting it. The last part where you put it. And then I'll say I'm the high 90s. I'll say I'm the high 90s.
90s, but
Absolutely.
actual evidence would say if I have 100 clients, 75 of those have come to me and said that I've been successful based off of his coaching. That's what I'm asking.
And I would say the high 90s. Do you get what I'm saying to you?
Okay, so you're saying about 90%. So, so do you, the better thing is...
I think I'm amazing at my job, and my clients would tell you the same thing, so... I don't know. That's why I said the way. Like I said, I don't have a specific measure. That's why when she put it that way, I said that can make a bit more sense. If they were to say like, are we happier? Are we someone who can understand their wants, their needs? Can they be more communicative in terms of what they want from a relationship? Can they better discern? Then I can go with that. I can go, yeah, I can rock with that. That's nice. Yeah. Sorry, yes. Apologies. Go for it.
Real quick, because you're saying that you're amazing. Because I'm a coach as well, but I'm not a relationship coach. But anyway. That's neither here nor there. You're saying you're a relationship coach and you teach under the premise of psychology, right? Now, I have a degree in psychology. So that's how I know a lot of what you're saying is bullshit. Because let me tell you why.
Okay.
You're talking about psychology, but you just got done saying you don't do any studying. So how are you teaching people on psychology when you're not actually studying? I'm telling you what you're doing. You're going to YouTube University, all the attachment styles and all that stuff. A lot of that stuff is red pill talking point. It all encompasses like the hookup culture, the red pill talking points, the attachment styles. All of that stuff is under the red pill, right? That's what you're getting your information from, because you're not actually studying psychology to even understand this stuff. You get what I'm saying? So how are you?
Attachment style is not under red pill.
Well,
yes, it is. Yes, it is. Wait, hold on. Let me finish. Hold on.
And Mary Ainsworth are British psychologists. They are not under red
pill.
pill.
Black. Hold on. This is what I teach. Mastery is key. I would never sit here and call myself a business coach, a marketing coach, a social media coach, if I haven't sat down and studied, right? If I can't literally back up my results because I've actually mastered that thing. When I say master, I'm not saying I know everything, but this is what I do every day, okay? Literally for 15 years. You're telling me you don't even study, you don't even pick up a book, right?
I didn't say pick up a book. He asked me what studies do I read, and I said I don't read the studies. I've read a lot of books. I didn't say I studies. That's different.
No, you say you don't study. That's what you say. You said I do study.
Hold on.
I don't read studies. They're very different.
Let's get clear. He did. I'll be honest. I brought up studies. He did say that he don't use studies. He said he brought up books, and he actually started naming books and some authors, right? So I just wanted to get clear.
I didn't hear no books or no authors. What book or authors did you speak of?
So most of the books I was talking about were actually attachment books, right? So that's what I was saying to him, that I've read.
What's the author? What's the author? What's the name of the book and what's the author? Yeah, he didn't mention it.
He did mention that he don't use studies though. He said,
he didn't mention no book or no author.
He said he read books, and then I thought I heard a name. I did hear him say I heard it. I meant I use books, trying to get to the root cause.
Yeah, he did say it. So my only question to you, Black New, is
but he can't hear you right now.
Oh, I'm not done. Hold on. Sorry, he went away for a minute. He went away.
Yeah, I was checking the library, but go for it. Yeah, I'm listening.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Like I'm not buying it because, first of all, you're putting women in a place of victim blaming.
Okay.
And that's very dangerous if you're talking about being a relationship coach. And even from a psychological perspective, like even a therapist, and I'm not a therapist, but what I'm saying, even a therapist would be like, no, you get what I'm saying? Like you cannot victim blame and say, women, it's your fault because you didn't do the correct vetting, when in reality, they did what they thought was the right thing based upon what was presented to them. And that part is very dangerous as well.
So, first of all, I would say that, number one, it's not just women, it's women and men. have to be accountable. When a relationship breaks down, you have to be accountable as an individual who's in a relationship, whether you are a man or a woman. So when I say this about seeing patterns, both men and women actually have to be able to do the work in spotting how they actually move in relationships and look at the results that they're actually getting. If you are seeing a pattern that you keep choosing men that are liars, you have to look at why you keep choosing liars. If you put that on someone else and say, no, it's not, it's always them, then you're not empowering yourself to make correct choices. You're then saying that it's always outside and not you. And what you won't realize is actually you're contributing towards your choice. You don't make a choice in a vacuum. You made choices based on patterns that make you feel safe. We don't make choices suddenly out of the blue and it's like, that's the only person. No, it comes from somewhere. The choices are revoked by past experiences. So what I teach people is to start looking at the patterns between the past and the present. So if you're making choices now, there's a reason why you're making those choices now. You didn't make it just today. You made it because there's a pattern of things that happened to you or things that you've seen or observed or even choices you've made in the past that is contributing to where you are right now.
So,
So yeah, go on. Sorry,
so
go on.
Black Mute, I appreciate your response. So what on your platforms, when you say you have clients, when you speak to relational therapy or whatever you call it, coaching, what platform do you use? Is it TikTok or YouTube? That's the first question. It's the reason why I'm asking it.
I'm on both.
Okay, so when I looked at your TikTok, it's all workout videos, right? So I haven't seen where you're building a community based off of relationship and clients, right? So what I'm seeing is you're in the gym, which is great. But when you're saying that you're helping clients, I have questionable doubts with saying, who are you helping when all I'm seeing is you're in the gym and working out? If you're saying that most of your clientele is based off of your platform, when your platform is based off of working out, which looks more like a personal trainer. The second question I would pose to you is when you're saying that people should vet, because keep in mind, I'm in management, and when we say vet is a very strong word when it comes to people. You're looking at resumes, you're looking at background, you're looking at all of these things. How does one vet a liar? If they to figure 6 figures point, if they haven't picked up a book to read the signs and the baseline of a liar, what are you using as your source to be able to vet, whether it's a man or a woman?
All right, and after you answer that question, I'm trying to move it around. Geronte had a question, and then we'll move forward.
Well, thank you for the questions. It's actually a really good question. So whilst I'm on TikTok, yes, I dance on TikTok. And TikTok's actually a new platform for me. I've actually been on YouTube for the last decade. So my clients actually come majority from YouTube, but I actually do lives on my TikTok as well. So that's actually how I started getting new clients, predominantly from UK. So yes, that's where my clients actually come from in that respect. So my YouTube is there. If you go and watch those videos, I tend to use reality TV as a way to teach people. So I tend to use the clips from shows like Love Island, Ready to Love. I have so many interviews on there where I've interviewed stars on reality TV stars and show them their own patterns that they've done and why they make the choice they make on TV shows, right? That's actually part of it as well. And the reason why I actually got into coaching is actually because the audience asked me to go into it. They told me, listen, that you should start coaching. And I was like, okay, we'll see what happens. And by the grace of God, he's graced me to be able to do that. And then in regards to your second question, I think you were asking as well. Sorry, the second question again, Shasti. Say it again, please. I just slipped my mind.
How do you vet a person that's lying?
Yes.
If you're looking at their baseline, because I've watched a lot of to 6 figures point. I watch a lot of psychology videos where you look at the baseline, their behaviors, their interactions, how they move their hands, if they wipe their face, if they frown, if it's really a sad face. I look at those things to find a baseline. So what do you look at as a vetting process when it comes to dating if a person is lying?
Yeah. A good question, actually. So I love body language. I wouldn't advise necessarily anyone to be looking at body language as to why someone's lying, right? Because it's a very difficult science.
But here's the thing. There's multiple people who have worked for the CIA who make YouTube videos who literally state the baselines, and all of their baselines are based off of body language. And you're saying that you can't use body language when there's multiple sources from CIA members or ex-CIA members saying, look at the baseline, and you're saying don't look at the baseline. But these are people who have their degrees in this field.
Totally understand. Why I'm saying that is because you just said what you just said. They have degrees in that field. Most people don't have a degree in that field. So what we do have a degree in is yourself. The only the degree that you have is in you. So the first thing I would teach anybody about this, first and foremost, is, are you able to articulate your wants and your needs? Do you know them in and out? Number one. Number two, are you able to communicate your boundaries? Do you know your boundaries? Number two. Number three, are you consistent with applying your boundaries? Are you aware of emotional language and how to able to articulate what your actual emotions are? The reason why I'm saying all these things is because what ends up happening is that the liar usually comes in when we are not acquainted with ourselves. So when you are acquainted with yourself and what you're looking for and what you want, you already have a baseline. Your baseline is you have a set of behaviors that you're okay with. And so when someone's a liar, and accept they be an MPD person, that's a completely different scenario, which I'm not taking into account because they're not the majority of cases. There are MPD people, but they're not majority of cases of why people break up in relationships. But if we're taking someone who's a liar, right, someone who has lied or is inconsistent, incongruent, right, their incongruence will show over a period of time. When you are congruent with yourself, the key thing here is that a lot of times most people are not congruent with themselves. That's why I said about patterns of behavior from childhood is very important, right? Because for instance, I grew up in a household where my dad, right, was a very much an authoritarian person. And he was a bit more emotionally neglectful, right? So he was present, but not emotionally present. What ended up happening is that I started searching for women, right, who were, how do I say this? I like to save them. Now, someone could say, well, then I don't have to be accountable, because why is it that women who are destructive and slightly abusive, why is it that I, was in a relationship with them? That's on them. But it is on them, but it's also on me. Why do I keep choosing them? Or actually, I have to look at my background. I realize that actually I like to save them. You know what I mean? So if I like to save them, then that's something I have to work on myself. I keep encouraging myself to find these people, and I'm attracted to them. And that tends to what ends up happening. And I've said this with some of my clients as well. Sometimes what ends up happening with people who lie is that we often lie as well. We lie about the parts of ourselves that we don't actually like, and we reject parts of ourselves, and then we put ourselves in places where actually the person doesn't honor who we actually are, because we're wearing a mask ourselves. So when you're true and you're authentic, it tends to air out people who are not true and authentic, because if they're not true and authentic, they can't accept your truth and your authenticity.
So what about the people who are true and are authentic and they still get burned?
Yeah, there's always going to be those situations. They're not the majority, though. Again, the majority. Again, this is those things happen.
Wait. So what is? Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait.
Time out, because everybody like this dude up here sitting and he still ain't asked no question.
Oh, okay, go for it.
Like we.
Durante.
What is your? I'm
sorry.
Wait, time out.
Let me ask you a question. Do
You
you even have?
You guys, mute your mics. The host was speaking.
Pause, Durante. That's my fault. That's my fault. Keep your mic on. You keep your mic on mute. Just give me a sec. Was you finished? And Black Muscle, was you finished responding to her?
My bad, host. My bad. I didn't see him. I apologize. I'm gonna mute up.
No, I'm asking, but
yeah, I'm good. You can go to Durante.
Durante, ask your question, bro.
Do you even have a degree in what you're saying? Okay, so for somebody who does have a degree, a bachelor's degree in psychology, you are on a right path with some of this stuff, but you do need textbook things to know what you're actually talking about, because it's a lot deeper than what is going on. Because do you know anything about narcissism, psychopathy, sociopaths?
I won't say I'm a majority of my knowledge is there, so I know a little bit, but go for it.
Okay. Narcissists, sociopaths, and psychopaths was narcissists. Narcissists can literally wear a mask for years, be anything that a woman wants, even if even if she is her authentic self. That person would literally play along to everything that she does, basically mirroring what she does. And then when he actually gets her, like marry her, put a baby in her, that's when he snaps out of it and show his true colors. The issue that I have with what you're saying is the simple fact is yes, you can say that people can be held accountable for their actions, but 9 times out of 10, that's not always the case. People can actually help themselves and actually try better in themselves all they want to, but you're going to still attract the same type of people because narcissistic, sociopathic, or what people like to call energy vampires want to suck that life out of you. So they're going to mirror every single thing that you do. Oh, you want a man that's good. You want a man that take care of you. You want a man to do all this. Okay, that man gonna continue to be that. But when he gets you in his grasp and he gets you pregnant or marry you, mind you, this is a man who I am a man who dates women and men. So I know how men think, and I'm a man myself because I used to act like that. It's like, bro, it's a lot deeper than you think. It is not always on the person that it's not always on the person. It's the person that they're dating because this person knows what they're doing. They know how to manipulate, they know how to strategize, and they know how to get in another person's head. It's not all that simple like you think it is. And I'm not saying that you're unintelligent in what you're saying. You speak in some type of facts, but attachment styles, yes, that could be a problem for some, but not all. When it comes to narcissism, especially covering narcissists, because there's different types of narcissists. Some of them you can track early on in the dating scene, but some of them, no. It takes years, takes 10, 20, covert, 10, 20, 30 years before they even show who they really are. So and this is the thing that a lot of men don't realize. And then also I like to bring up, me actually having a bunch of friends that are therapists, they said to themselves, they have told me multiple times, when it comes to women patients, they taught them how to get over their past, get over their trauma and everything else. When it comes to men, they have to teach them empathy and emotional intelligence. Like they have to teach them that. So when it comes to these two, it's two different things that have to be taught to two different genders. If I'm making sense.
Oh, you're making perfect sense. And I don't disagree with much of what you're actually saying. So if you can work with me here a little bit. So I agree with you in terms of when it comes to MPD, right? Now,
Hmm.
are you saying that the majority of relationships that break down are because of MPD people?
Half of well, most likely yes. Because let's not forget, let's not forget, we're talking about people who grew up in terrible households. Like you
Mhm.
said, how the way they grew up and everything else. A lot of that shit can invest into narcissism. It can invest into narcissism, and a lot of people don't understand that. You can be a lot trauma, anything you go through can actually flip your brain into being the most terrible person in the world. Even when you get help, even when you get therapy, and some people are actually diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder.
Yes.
And there are a lot of them that are not diagnosed yet. Let's just throw that out there, especially in our community that doesn't even believe in the importance of mental health or believe in mental disorders.
And yes, and guess what? And what's playing a part is religion, patriarchy, a lot of a lot of I'm just gonna say a lot of pick me women or men who have that superiority complex, letting these men actually not being held accountable for their actions. Every time that they do something terrible to a woman or to anybody else, it's always, oh, it's okay, they're wrong, you're not in the wrong, you're not in this, you're not in that. So they carry that throughout their lives. And the more they carry that is the more people that they hurt. So when you meet a good, authentic woman who actually wants to be loved, cared for, and all this other things, this person would look at them and be like, yes, I found my victim. Or yes, oh, she's up here and I'm down here. She's up here, energy wise, emotional wise, mental wise. I'm finna bring her down here. I'm finna destroy her and make her the most terrible person, make her feel how the way I feel. It's very, oh Lord, it's my brain is going to overdrive, but
Mhm.
it's very difficult to actually pinpoint a narcissist. It's very difficult to pinpoint a sociopath. It's very difficult to pinpoint a psychopath because all of them love to mask. They know how to mask. And also, let's not forget, a lot of these people are not ignorant. They are very intelligent people. That's the reason why a lot of them are police officers, lawyers, doctors, nurses. A lot of these people are not dumb. So, if you're dealing with somebody who is highly intelligent, can actually study, who actually knows pattern recognitions and actually can study you without you even knowing, oh, it's done day in hell. It's
That's
it's like
sad.
it's a yeah, it's a whole done day in hell unless you actually experience these type of people or you have a certain type of degree in this and knowing how these people really are. I don't think you will fully grasp or understand how this will be. And then also you say you talk to women, mostly women, but I want you to actually talk to some men to see how it goes, and you'll understand the pattern that most of these men have. It's avoid accountability. It's the, oh, I'm the provider mindset, which it comes with superiority. If you ask them about women, you will hear a lot of these men, because you can't lie and say that a lot of these men don't listen to red pill content. Oh, you can't lie and say a lot of these men don't listen to a bunch of red pill content, because it's going from grown men to young boys to people in college to even people in high school and middle school who are actually learning this crap. So a lot of this narcissistic shit is being passed around from children to children to children to young adults to everything. So on a respectful level, bro, I can understand what you're saying, but one, discernment does not mean anything. You can be the most spiritual person ever and still get trapped in a lot of shit that a narcissist can put on you, a lot of shit that a sociopath can get on you, and a lot of shit that a psychopath can get on you. And then also, let's not forget, if these women try to leave, it's okay. If these women try to leave, there are so many cases where a woman has tried to leave a man who is a narcissist, an abuser, and all this shit. And guess what? She got unalive. And if she didn't get unalive, then her children get harmed in the process. Like,
I don't doubt those things are actually, because I know that actually do happen. Again, we're talking about majority, but because what you started going down was MPD, which I'm cool with, right? We said that we know that the stat for now, without going further, it's like 1% of the population, right, of people are narcissistic. Let's increase to 3%. That still
actually, it's
wouldn't be the
4%.
majority.
It's 4%. It's
Okay,
4%.
let's make it even 10. It's still not the majority, which means there is a whole bunch of other people to be dating. So the question of the matter is, all those people who are narcissistic are not dating every single person. Do you know what I'm saying to you? So in some regard, we're going to have to start focusing on the actual real issue, which is a majority of people are getting into bad relationships. Both men and women come with baggage to a relationship and are not great. And so what I'm saying to you is that what I was discussing was saying that there are patterns that we exist in. And I said that if you keep choosing a certain type of pattern, at some point, we're going to have to look at why you keep making that choice. You can't keep saying someone else. That we have to be able to at least, you know what I mean, pattern recognition. Even if you don't read a book, you just 1 to 3 to 5 to 7 to 9. It's plus 2 pattern. At some point, you're gonna have to look at the pattern and go, I'm a part of the pattern. Why is it I keep having that pattern? Do you know what I'm saying to you?
Okay,
That's what I'm saying.
so black. Okay, so black.
Yeah.
This is something that I kind of need you to like really understand here. I'm gonna sit here and speak on an honest perspective that I've had when it comes to observing people and systems and history. If we're really gonna have the conversation about just narcissism in general, I would say society itself is inherently narcissistic. And the reason being is because our entire society is based in individualism. And individualism can lead to me, mine, only mine, right? And so this is why we also have the system that where women we're talking about is patriarchy. Patriarchy is also rooted in narcissism. Patriarchy tells men that they have to do nothing but work, 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 work. It's all about them, that they have to do nothing but be that man that provides and protects for his wife, children, and that dog, and with the picket fence in the big house, right? When we sit here and say because it's not the majority of people, right? I can't agree that it's not the majority of people. I can't agree that it's a minority of people. If we live in a society that is based in narcissism, just because we don't see these people being diagnosed as narcissists, and just because we don't see the majority of these people doing these things that deem them as narcissists, does not mean. Ooh, damn baby.
I got it.
does not mean that it isn't the majority, right? Just like how I can't sit here and say that every man that I meet is going to harm me at some point. You can't say that it's not the majority of people who are being narcissistic or even have some sort of narcissistic traits, because there's too many people. If 4 million people are saying that 80 million men, right, have a tendency to be misogynistic because of the system that has indoctrinated them to be, what would make you think that I would say it's not all men if they're living in a system, right, that tells them that they can be misogynistic willingly and freely, and we're also living in the same system that lets narcissism get away with so many things.
My response, if I can respond really quickly, I'll keep it short. If you live in a narcissistic society, how do you avoid yourself becoming narcissistic? How do you know you're not narcissistic?
Empathy, therapy. Sorry, I'm sorry. I just have to say that. Empathy, therapy. Realize that you cannot be manipulated by other people. Realize that not everybody is the same way as you, and also having self-reassurance and not letting anybody compromise your own morals because they act that way.
How would they know that if they live in a narcissistic? That's what I'm trying to say to you. They live in a narcissistic. How are you not influenced by the narcissism that you live in? So how do you see what I'm saying to you? If you're saying that you live in a narcissistic society and everybody around you is narcissistic, how are you the only? How is it there's only one subset of group who's able to say narcissism doesn't rush on us? It doesn't happen to us. It doesn't come to me. It's only men that exist in it. If that's the case, that's cool. Yeah, only men exist in it. But then if you're around it, it eventually is going to catch up to you. Since we said it doesn't have to be just from trauma, it can be from the environment that you're actually in. So if we're saying, and I'm not saying that men aren't, they're not narcissistic men. I'm not disagreeing that point. I'm saying to you that if you make it that the environment is narcissistic, but somehow you're unscathed and untouched, that doesn't make sense.
Are you trying to say from a woman's perspective hold on 1 second, Zena. Are you saying that from a woman's perspective, women are you asking how are women not touched by this, or are you just saying that men that might not be actually like diagnosed with this, it might rub off on them? Is that what you're like? On whose end are you speaking on?
I think he's saying. I feel like this is the misogyny, massage noir type thing. That
I think that's where he's about to say right now. I want to make sure he can clarify that.
And I mean, good caveat, but let's see how we'll let him finish his point.
Well, I mean, we know that women know that women around misogynistic men end up picking up their tendencies. We can all agree that's why you call them pick-me's, right? Because they pick up those men tendencies. So if that's the case, and you live in a narcissistic world where everybody's a narcissist at this point, right? It's a majority prevalent, then you are going to probably end up picking up narcissistic tendencies. So the fact is that nobody's free. Then we're both a problem at this point, which is what I'm saying at the very beginning. If that's your viewpoint, cool. But then that means we've all got some narcissistic traits. It doesn't matter where it starts from. That's irrelevant because at the end of the day, we are in it. And therefore, you've got some narcissistic tendencies.
And I can agree with that. We all do have some narcissistic traits. The difference between the people who have the subset of those narcissistic traits, they're not using it to harm, maim, unalive, and do anything to men, women, children, and the elderly, or anybody that thinks they're more vulnerable than them. Like that. Like I don't know how simple I can be at that. I don't know.
I think. Okay, I got you. So I think what she's saying is the scales they never balance out. I think the scaling of who's doing the majority harm it never balances out. And I think that's the point that she's coming from.
I also wanted to say that pick-me's they're not picking up the tendencies of men who are narcissists. They are seeking validation from these men. They're simply seeking validation, and they
also happen to be narcissists.
They want to scrutinize other women and try to put themselves on a pedestal. It's not so much that they're like adopting these men's behaviors per se. It's just them speaking on men's talking points and hanging on the coattails of men and their opinions for validation for themselves. That's it. That's not them becoming these men. So there's a difference here. There's a few things that you said that still isn't speaking to or at all justifying the initial point and how we even got here, right? You cannot blame someone for not being able to properly, quote unquote, vet someone who is not being genuine from the very beginning. Like, that is that's almost like saying it's my fault if I get duped by a bad doctor that claims to be licensed in this specific ability to give this kind of surgery, and I come to find out this motherfucker is a charlatan, but he had the plaques on his walls of the degrees and the all the proper coding, and he's coming in with the white coat, and he has an office in this nice area.
The Bugs Bunny Dr. Jazz.
Yeah, like
the Bugs
like
Bunny
how
Dr. Jazz.
how is that woman? How was that? Well, let's just exclude it from being women, but just people in general. How is that person wrong when they were given the impression that this doctor was able to do what they said that they were going to do, and that they were credentialed, and that they were licensed to do what they said they were going to do? Like, is that person still not going to be going to go to jail? Like, is that person not going to be held accountable by the law? Yeah, they are. They're going to go to jail. They're going to go to jail big time. But you can't blame the victim in that sense unless they went into, now if they went into a back alleyway and that person don't have not a damn degree or a license on their wall, and he coming out there in a sweatsuit like, change your clothes, I'm going to perform this surgery, then yeah, you can say, yeah, you did bad. Like, you kind of walked into that. But outside of that, and I know that that's a weird comparison or a weird analogy, but it just sounds like we're so lazy on holding men accountable when it comes to the whole process of dating and relationships and marriage. Let's be real. Women don't have to lie to get access to men. I say this all the time. Women don't have to lie for that. It's men that have to lie for that. They have to lie about their intentions to obtain a certain level of access to the kind of woman that they want. Women don't have to do that. She could be a regular woman working in a restaurant, and a rich man can walk in there, and if he likes her, if he thinks she's attractive, if he likes her physique, her aesthetic, if he likes her conversation, if he likes her personality, he will entertain her. She doesn't have to do much. She just has to be her. Men have to lie to get access to the kind of women that they want for however long they want. So if they're not presenting themselves in a genuine way from the beginning, if you meet a nigga and he give you a name that's not his, he's driving a car he doesn't own, he brings you to a house that he doesn't own, and he's showing you this, he's like coming off like he has this certain lifestyle, and he says that he's a doctor or whatever, and you come to find out that this man be selling smugs, like, you're not going to find out until something happens for you to see it. Now, what you decide to do after you know the truth is completely different. Yes, I can 100% hands down agree with what you're saying at that point. But it's not until that point that you can blame the woman in this scenario. So, right? You can't blame her until she sees, when she finally understands and has proof of what's going on, and then she decides to just continue to entertain what's clearly not good for her. That's a completely different story. But we're talking about initiating conversation, getting to know somebody, working up to dating, and eventually marrying somebody. If this person is not being honest, yes, in time, or unless, just like Durante said, unless you have been familiarized with narcissists, unless you've encountered this kind of abuse before, and unless you're a professional in the field of psychologist or psychiatry, you're not a normal person who's not in either scope of those norms. They're not going to walk into any situation and assume that, oh, this person could be a narcissist. This person could be completely lying to me about everything. Like, you're not going to come into a relationship or even a dating encounter with that mindset. So you're not going to be likely to catch red flags. You're not going to be likely to know that this person is conning you. You're not going to know some of the red flags to look for in narcissistic tendencies if you've never encountered one before. So,
and even professionals get duped too with narcissists. So
right.
Can I ask a
So
question real
I
quick?
just wanted to say that, Black, you had some valid points when you said that how people are raised and like the environments that we are raised in do play a factor in the kind of people that we end up accepting into our lives. Yes, that's very valid, right? But that still doesn't excuse or make the person who's being deceived the problem when they're not the ones that's being disingenuous or being ingenuine when trying to get to know somebody.
Appreciate all the subscribers.
Black, question for you, Black.
Wait. Well, actually, hold on. Go ahead.
I just want to ask him one question. How do you vet a rapist?
Again, I'm not talking about these exceptions. Again, these are exceptions that are not the majority.
No. Hold on. No. Do you know the stats for grape?
They're not the majority when it comes to marriage as to why marriage breaks down. This conversation
We're not talking about marriage. We're not talking about marriage. I'm asking you a direct question. How do you vet a rapist? Well, I mean, but husbands do grape their wives, though. But that's
they're not the majority, though. So again, we're doing it again when we're shifting it to a minority situation to a majority.
Black. Wait, how is it not a majority when there was literally a law?
Black. Hold on, Zane.
This is not why divorces happen.
Black. We're not talking about marriages, okay? We're talking because we're not because you were talking about
the context was a relationship, right?
Right, relationships. You were talking about relationships and dating and vetting. Because when you're married, you're not sitting and vetting. Remember, you've already said I do at that point. So how do you vet a rapist?
I think this is respectfully, it's not the question. This is not the question to be even answered on TikTok. I think this is a very sensitive question, and I refuse to answer this question on TikTok. It gets too blurry, so I want to be very careful and sensitive. I don't think it's a sensitive question to answer.
Let's just answer the question. I got it. You can't.
Wait. Reason why. Wait, hold on 1 second. The reason why I ask you that because that's why what you're saying is very problematic, right? It's very problematic what you're saying because you can't vet. Like the way you're making it sound like you cannot vet. You don't know who these people are for real. You know, I have some friends that were in college that got raped by either a friend or someone that they were dating. You know what I mean? So you cannot, this is why that rhetoric is very dangerous. Because if you're teaching people that, because if they're hearing you say that, specifically women, that's not for the mind, for somebody that has experienced that, that's going to mess them up. Because now they're feeling guilty because like, what did I do to deserve this? It must be my fault. Now the guilt is on them because you're telling them, well, you didn't vet properly and so on and so forth. You see how that's problematic?
Again, you've shifted the goalpost. That's what I said. When we make minorities majorities, we shift the goalpost. I was never discussing that. Those are specific.
I also have the same.
Hold up. Those are specific instances, right? And they're not the majority. So if we're discussing this situation, we're discussing from a majority perspective.
Grace is not a minority, though. You know the stats on that?
Okay. Okay.
So that's all I'm saying. All I'm trying to get you to understand, first of all,
I do understand because my friend
the majority of women. Hold on, the majority of women have been raped. Okay.
The number went up from. Never mind. Is that true?
It's like 1 in 4.
So like, I'm for last time we all didn't say it 1 out of 4. We all didn't say 1 out of 4. Y'all been on the pen. We all didn't say 1 out of 4. Has there been any new information that came up to say that it's 2 out of 4? I don't mind believing that it's 2 out of 4. Is it 2 out of 4 now?
Okay. So let's be clear. That is reported.
I got you.
Okay. Yeah, that's reported. Great. But how many women do not report, y'all? So that's why I say
I don't know. I don't know how. I really don't know how to factor that. Actually,
And
well, women know. The majority do not report.
and it is a fact that most of these are done by people that they know,
Yeah.
people that they're in romantic relationships with, people that are their friends, people that are their family members, people that are in prominent areas of their life, like the church, or school, places that are supposed to garner trust. So it is not true that it's not like we can't frame it like it's a minority or an isolated situation.
Right.
And there's the same for these dating experiences. When majority of women are saying, this is our experience dating men, aggression, AB, lying, cheating, manipulation, financial abuse, child abandonment. There is a lot of commonalities that women generally experience dating, marrying men.
Right,
so
we're
not going to keep saying that this is a minority.
So what I'll say is this, just to keep going, you can't. That was the whole point, and I think that's where a disconnect is going on, because I don't think that a woman can vet a man. I don't think that women have the ability to vet a man. I don't even think men can vet men. And I think we just gonna have to agree to disagree, Mr. Black, because I'm not saying I get what you're trying to say, but there's only so much that they can do. I mean, once the mask come off, is off. I mean, and that's in like in the dating world, most people ain't being upfront with what they want. Most people just not being upfront and saying that I just want to fuck. Sorry for cursing, but they're not saying that. Most people ain't saying I'm finna use you and manipulate you. I'm finna do all this. That's not what's happening. You got love bomb. It's a whole bunch of factors. Got love bombing, all kind of things, man. So I don't. Again, I understand what you're trying to imply. I don't think it holds any weight. And then when it comes to the majority of the divorces, if infidelity is number 2 and that's why they leave it, I don't know if we can then say. I mean, you could. You saw your dad or you saw your mom get cheated on, so now you go out and choose a man that cheats on you because you think it's not. I guess you could choose to say.
That happens a lot. You'd be surprised. That's what I'm trying to say. That happens a lot to a lot of people.
A mass thing to say, though.
I mean, we can disagree. I'm just saying it happens a lot.
Okay. Let's say it happens a lot. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure there are some cases where somebody saw that. Maybe so, but a lot versus majority. I don't know if the majority is gonna still hold up to the then factor in the input. I don't think the majority of people would then see their mama get cheated on. So let me go out here and grow up. I think this is normal. I think
choose a cheater. That's actually what happens. Because
a
lot of people, happens a lot to people. A lot of people, they see their mom get cheated on, or they see their dad doing the cheating. And what it does is it breaks people's boundaries. Number one, it destroys people's self-value and self-esteem. Okay, and then also as well, it creates particular patterns of behavior of the self-worth. And so what ends up happening is you actually end up choosing people that replicate those patterns. So that's why I said a lot of this is patterns. So hey, we can agree to disagree, but like I said, from what I've noticed and what I've observed and how I've coached people, that tends to be a pattern that you often have seen some level of deceit or some kind of thing in your past. So you actually become susceptible and okay with certain behaviors that are deceitful. So for instance, if you see your parent, for instance, right, who is not just they didn't cheat, but they were deceitful, right? They had some patterns of deceit, and you observe that as a child, right? What can end up happening is that person grows up as an adult and they end up trying to make excuses for someone who actually has those same patterns. And actually that person can then go on further then to go and do the infidelity and cheating. You know what I'm saying to you?
I can concede to that to a small number. I have seen some people come out and say that they thought this was normal because that's what they experienced now. I can concede to that of being a small number. Now, how do you but when you say a lot, your version of a lot versus my version of a lot, again, still, in my opinion, wouldn't equate to the majority.
And
That
also, you did.
I'm not going to concede. That right there, I don't think I can concede that the majority of times people are choosing women are choosing fucked up men because their daddy was fucked up. It could be. A lot of dads are not in the house. It could be. However, I don't think that's what's going on. I think they would want a man that was actually there instead of choosing a man that would abandon them. Or same flip side. That most times that a man, well, I guess I have to flip it now. A man is choosing an effed up woman because his mama was effed up, but then that wouldn't make sense because it wouldn't make sense in our community because it's mostly the mother taking care of us from Jump Street. So like, if I was to flip it, let's say the mama was trash. Let's just say the mama was trash, right? Maybe you then could pull something, but again, I just don't think the reality is going to. I don't think the numbers is just going to equate to. I get what you're. In some cases, I said I can concede. The majority of cases, no.
And that actually happens a lot. Even to, for instance, it's both men and women, right? But the father and the mother are critically important.
I'm not having the argument that.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is I concede that it happened. I agree that it may happen. I just don't think it's the majority of the cases. If you're targeting, like if you were targeting the audience, that if you like, let's say the ones that you got coaching, right, and they're coming up to you and they're saying this, I concede that you have dealt with a lot of women and men, or whatever, whoever you coaching the most or whatever, that they have expressed this and they recognize. I concede. I have seen videos also where some women have come out to say that. I get it. Again, we could talk about those and we can focus on them because they need help too. I'm just not conceding that that's what happens most of the time. That's what I'm saying. I don't think that's majority of the cases.
It would only be valid if, again, these women are finding out this man has cheated and they're staying. Now, there's some validity in what he's saying when it comes to people not standing on certain boundaries because of lack of self-worth, because of insecurity or whatever. Yes, a woman that grew up with seeing her mom be cheated on, it can go either way. She could grow up and be like, I will never deal with that shit in my life. I will grow up and I will never deal with that I will never tolerate that for me. Or she could very much be one of those women that's like, you know what? This is pretty normal. This is going to happen anyway. Because I love him, I'm going to stay. Just like a man that grew up with an ain't shit father who probably wasn't around or who was toxic when he was around. He can choose to grow up and be a better father than what he knew and be the best father he can be. Or he can use his past and his childhood as a crutch and be the worst possible dad he could be or be an absent father. So for that reason, I cannot agree with what he's saying because it's very individualistic when it comes to people's choices and people's level of self-awareness. When we hit a certain age, it's on us to become self-aware enough to be able to break certain patterns. And I mean, that's what happens when you date people and you start to see, hey, yeah, I used to let things like A, B, C, D slide. I won't be doing that anymore because I see that when I'm dating men, this is what happens when I don't stand on my boundary. Or these are things that I know I'm going to look out for now because the last 3 dudes that I dated did the same thing and this was the result. Not blaming that person for the other person's actions. And that's the only thing that I feel has been a continuous disconnect in this conversation. You cannot blame someone or claim that essentially this is the whole you are what you attract nonsense, but in a whole bunch of word salad. And I think that's ridiculous because flies are attracted to shit just as much as they are honey. So it's not you that's attracting a liar. That is the weirdest shit I've ever heard in my entire life. Now, saying that a woman is attracted to abusive men. Okay, yeah, I can give you that. There are some women, again, that's been normalized for them. They don't know what to look for when it comes to these men, or they weren't taught to pay attention to certain things to know that a man has abusive tendencies, and until they do, that's it's called life lesson. You're learning lessons as you go. That's a little bit different. But when we're specifically mentioning liars, because that was the one thing that we were talking about this entire time. A liar, that you have no control over if that person is going to lie to you or not. But what you can do is choose what you're going to do when you find out that they're lying. Those are two totally different things. You have no control over what somebody decides what comes out of a person's mouth to you. You have no control over that. Only the person who's doing the lying has control over that. But the only thing you can do is when you find out this mofo lying and 2 + 2 ain't equaling 4, you keep it moving. And that's how you hold them and yourself accountable. But outside of that, y'all can't be blaming people for people lying to them.
So
that's
here's what we're
weird.
gonna do. We finna end it. I'm gonna let people get their last words in. Go ahead, Miss Styles. I saw your mic. I know you. Go ahead.
I was just going to piggyback on what Jazz said. I was raised in a 2-parent home. My dad cheated, but I always said, I'm never going to be like my mother to accept that, right? I knew it was toxic, and I decided that I won't accept that. The other thing is, you got to keep in mind, us as little girls were told, don't wear little shorts around your uncle or your brothers or your cousins, because in that sense, we're now telling you that you could provoke them, right? We're not saying that we can't control what they do, but we can control what you wear. It's little things like that that's indoctrinated in our community that we have to stop. Not saying that it's right, girls should wear whatever, but it's a form of victim blaming, right? So we can't keep on the narrative of saying we need to vet people better. We need to hold the predators accountable and not say that because you didn't ask the right questions, it's your fault. No, we cannot control somebody who decides to be a predator or a womanizer or a wife eater or whatever the case may be. We can't put that on that woman who chose them if they decided to lie. But what we can control is the conversation that we're having with the men who decide to lie and cheat. I'll land my plane there.
Six Figure, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just sticking to what I was saying about. I feel like what the rhetoric about the vetting is very problematic. It's dangerous. It's victim blaming, and like you said, I can concede a little bit on. Again, I actually do have a degree in psychology, so like what you're saying as far as like certain type of patterns that you experience as a child, sometimes you can't recognize. You know, especially coming into adulthood, you can't really recognize what's toxic, what's not, what's acceptable, what's not, right? You kind of grow into that as you become an adult, young adults, or whatever. So I understand that part to a certain degree, but the part about the vetting, no. Because at that point, you're putting the onus on the victim, and I don't play that. I don't play that. You know what I mean? So that's the problem that I have with that, with your rhetoric on that. Hopefully you'll go back and do some more research, maybe talk to an actual professional, therapist or counselor, just to talk to them and get a better understanding about it. Because I feel like at this point, if that's what you're telling these women, is dangerous.
We'll work our way up. Black Muscle, otherwise known as Little Black Book. Go ahead.
Appreciate you, bro. It's been an insightful conversation, so I really appreciate everybody giving their perspective as well. We can agree to disagree, and it's always a powerful thing. So I appreciate everybody's contributions here. I would say that I want to make it very, very clear. I'm not in the business of victim blaming. If you do believe I've done that, well, I do apologize if you think I've done that. I want to make it very, very clear. I was making specific remnants to relationships in terms of how we make choices. And I wasn't making it to specific instances, which I don't believe are the majority perspectives, right? So for me personally, when relationships break down, I believe we have to take accountability on each side, whether you're a man or you're a woman. You have to be accountable for the choices you make. I said the same thing to men. I said the same thing to myself when I ended up in the same type of relationship with the same type of girls. I had to hold myself accountable and stop saying that girls use me. No, they don't. You keep choosing these type of women. And so I had to hold myself accountable. That's how I'm able to say it to other people. I do definitely believe that there are exceptions. I'm not saying exceptions when I say that the minority cases, but they're majority in the sense of how many there are, but it's still minority in terms of in comparison. That those situations, yeah, I agree with you guys. I actually totally 100 agree. You can't necessarily bet 100% for someone who's an MPD person. No, you can't. To be like, so that's why I never spoke about that particular aspect, right? But what you can do first and foremost, just like we do with our houses, is that even if we trust our neighborhood, we might lock our doors. Why? Because just in case. So the only thing that we can necessarily do is make sure that first and foremost, you are acquainted with your boundaries. Make sure you know what your wants and your needs are. Make sure that you are going to be true and congruent with what you want and what you are trying to achieve, and that you don't self-sabotage by conceding ground for a man or a woman. You know what I'm saying to you? If that is your rule, that you said, this is what I'm going to follow, this is what I want, I would say that. And I think my final thing is that I think everybody should be doing some work in terms of looking at their background. If you've come up from a home where you've seen your father be too angry, or you've seen your mother be so critical, or you've come from a place where your dad was emotionally neglectful, you come from a household where, for instance, your mom was emasculating to your dad, whatever you felt like, and you've observed, I'd say pay attention to the patterns of what results you're getting in relationships and align it with what you're seeing in what you saw in your childhood. And you'll start to see, I believe personally, that you'll start to see the patterns as to why you're making certain choices. But thank you for this as well, controversial channel. It's been a great conversation. And thank you for the panelists as well. I appreciate the pushback as well. It's always good to learn.
No problem. So what I did, well, Black, I did want to say one thing. And it's not a disagreement. You remember what Paul said, that I wish all men were like me in terms of not being able to be in a relationship?
That part, yeah.
In the context, I think it's 1 Corinthians 7, something like that. Right. So the best vetting, if we're gonna speak like this is where it get dangerous. Let's just say, this is why I say enter relationships at your own risk. Right? Because the best vetting that a person could do is staying single. That's the best. That's literally the best, especially women. When we get to talking like vet better, because I think it's so hard, or because they even think that it's so hard, we would have to just start preaching a message of just stay single. Because that's why I use the term enter relationships at your own risk. And now I'm not trying to go to the extreme. And I know that, well, I don't want to speak to the human nature part of things, but I believe due to human nature trying to be inclined for wanting a relationship or relationships in many different forms, I believe there's a tug there due to the heart or the mind or wherever. But again, the best vetting that someone could ever do is stay single. Would you concede to that, or would you agree with that?
That, because actually when it comes to what we're talking about, the grape word, that doesn't even align with you being in relationships. That will happen to you regardless whether you're single or not single. It's about power. So I would say that
I didn't bring up grape. What are we talking about?
Well, I'm saying like in a sense like harm that comes to you, right? That harm can come to you whether you're single or not single. Do you know what I'm saying to you? Like that can happen because when people are trying to harm you, it's a power thing. So that's what I'm saying.
I was talking about more so in terms of relationships. Like in terms of relationships, that's why I said enter relationships at your own risk. The best vetting that the best vetting that you could do to avoid being hurt by a person romantically who you thought would love you or you cheat on would be to be single.
No. The best vetting for me personally, from a Christian perspective, is to ask your God. Ask your God to guide you, because he's a person who has already thought about the beginning to the end. So for me, that would be the ultimate vetting, is to ask your God.
I got you. Which is awesome.
Your guy got you victim blaming. What is you talking about?
Hold on now. So even Paul said, that's why I think Paul was saying, I wish that all men could be like me in terms of singleness. So if we believe all scripture is God inspired, then That's why he also says it's better to marry and not burn with passion. But again, we'll have a scripture debate later. I mean,
I
not later,
appreciate you guys.
not a debate. We'll have a scripture live another time. But I'll go ahead and let Geronte go ahead, brother.
Oh, yeah. For Black Muscle, how many people that you said you talked to? How many couples have you said you talked to?
That he did five,
About
five
five.
couples.
Five? Five. Okay. So five is not an accurate static. I mean, accurate status or anything else for you to make up your mind that it's the majority. Because mind you, I grew up in a household where my dad cheated on my mother and also, hit my mother and everything else. And I never grew up thinking that was okay. I grew up defending my mother and everything else, telling my dad it was wrong while my dad was trying to sit up here and manipulate me, trying to tell me that it was okay or him cheating on her was okay. Not everybody goes up in situations or being in households like this thinking crap like that is normal. Some of us actually stick up for the people that we love and we see that it's not okay to do. And even though you said what you said, but I want you to know that unless you actually dig deep in psychology and actually do the book work, dealt with actual couples, actually sat with people who go through things like this and everything else, you will never fully understand the concept. So what I'm thinking is people love when things sound profound. Exactly. But what I'm thinking is the simple fact is I know this is not your intention, but the impact that you're putting right now can be a whole different thing. Because some of people can be triggered to think that you're victim blaming because it does sound like that. Even though that wasn't your intent, the impact that you have on it with other people, it could be way worse than what you intended to be. So I just say if you're going to speak on all relationships or say it's a majority, I'm gonna need you to have more than just 5 or 6 people. I'm gonna need you to have like either hundreds or like 50, 70, 100 of people, or just look up statuses when it comes to psychologists who actually dealt with relationships, couples, and everything else to get your point across.
Bronte, earlier on did you say that you knew what the manipulation is because you've also manipulated before? Did I hear that correctly earlier on?
Guy said I used to manipulate before.
Yeah.
I didn't really manipulate.
Oh, I thought you said that earlier on that you also had a stint in your life where you also manipulated. I'm not trying to shame you. I'm just trying to see there's a link here, but maybe I'm wrong.
No, I said people around me used to manipulate. If I said me by mistake, I didn't mean to say that, but
Okay. Okay.
people around me used to manipulate. My dad used to try to manipulate me and everything else. I picked up on what he was doing.
Mm.
See, when it comes to certain patterns, I pay attention to people's patterns. My dad do a lot of weird, crazy stuff, and he act like that. A lot of stuff that he's doing that nobody can catch. The only people who couldn't catch that was my mom because she was dealt with him. But after 10 or some years, she dealt with him. And also another thing is the reason people do stay with people like that is because one, financial troubles, they have nowhere else to go, they have not worked, or the simple fact is they have kids with them. This is where people keep saying, this is where Jazz, Zan, Six Figures, and all of them are trying to tell you that in their experience of other women experience, what we've seen on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, where women are coming out telling their stories, a lot of dudes will use the part of them being a provider to manipulate a woman to staying with him and then also play it on what she wants in a partner. That's why I say narcissism and also the superiority complex comes in. With all of that, it will add up. All that shit adds up to why all this shit happens to women. All of this. So it comes down to me. It sounds like I know you're not trying to. I know you're not trying to say you're victim blaming, but it does sound like victim blaming, even if that's not your intent. It does sound like that because nobody is responsible for another person's actions. how the person responds to another person is how they respond. Their actions is their responsibility. If they refuse to take responsibility for their actions, that's on them. But blaming another person and trying to make another person accountable for how a man acts is unrealistic and very dangerous because one, you don't know that person's mental health. Two, you don't know why this woman act this way because there's a thing called reaction abuse, where a woman gets tired of being talked down on, getting hit on, and everything else. He'll end up she will end up reacting, fight or flight.
Yeah. Hold on, real quick. I don't even hold on, Black. We finna do something. Hey, say, boss man. Can you speak one time? Say something, Jason. Yo, Jason. Jason. Jason.
Man, you man enough to talk in them comments, open your mouth.
You got Jason. You said, hold on. I'm gonna give you 5 seconds. Jason. Y'all niggas be mad cowards, but
Girls are waiting, Jason.
you
Oh, don't drop. Don't
all in the
drop.
comments. How you get listen. You pathetic excuses of males. You literally all in the comments calling people Derrick Jackson, and we having a conversation. That's crazy. Calling somebody Derrick Jackson. We having a conversation, civil conversation, respectful conversation, and you talking about these females always victims. Well, because shit, historically, females have been victims. Women have been victims. Children have been victims, and majority of the time, they come through the hands of men. That does not mean that women don't do harm. Now, if never mind, I'll even leave a scripture verse out of that. I'll leave the Bible out of that, even though sin entered the world through one man and death through sin.
And also, people need to stop using the Bible to justify their actions. I'm really getting sick and tired of it. Please stop. Like,
Using the Bible to justify what?
there, we've seen it. There's men out there who use the Bible to justify their actions, how the way they treat women and everything else.
Yeah. Taking certain scripture to use against women specifically, but don't want to use the scripture for men.
Yeah, saying a woman should submit to her man and everything else. First of all, did the Bible also say a man should submit his woman too?
It says submit to one another, but before we even get to the woman submit verse, it says husbands love your wives. So the problem starts right there. Before we even get to submission, it says husbands love your wives, and they're referring to Proverbs, the verse in Proverbs. But we'll move past that one. Zena.
Yeah.
Zena.
And
I know she busy. Okay, hold on. Just give me a sec. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, my girl's asleep. All right. Wait. Did I mute her? No, she would have said some in the comments. Jazz, go ahead. Co-host, go ahead.
Yeah, I think we said a lot tonight. And I think we just need to be conscious and aware that, rhetoric like what we heard tonight is sadly what continues to fuel men to not take accountability for their narcissistic tendencies, the lack of inner work, self-awareness, or even the lack of wanting to understand how mental health works, lack of empathy, and how much that affects the people in their life and our society. And until that becomes a priority amongst men, we're going to continue to see the same behaviors, the same patterns. We're going to get the same results. People are not dumb. They're very aware of what they're doing on both ends. But for whatever reason, men get to skate by on how they hurt people physically, emotionally, mentally, financially. And until we break down and rebuild our structure in society and start making it normal for men to feel, and they can only do that amongst themselves, right? Making it normal for themselves to feel, making it normal for them to understand who they share space with on this earth, then nothing's going to change. You know, we're doing this on our own pretty much. And it's not a good look, you know, it's pretty disheartening. And it just furthers my stance from earlier when I said that women do not benefit being involved with men romantically. Not at all. Our life expectancy decreases, our finances decrease, our health decreases, our overall happiness decreases. I've said this multiple times, I'm gonna say it again. When it comes to marriage, hell, even when it comes to relationships, because sadly, women do put others first before themselves, even without a ring. So, but when it comes to dating, when it comes to marriages, it's viewed as women performing a duty in the eyes of, women and society, right? But when it comes to relationships and marriage, it's viewed as a service for men. They know that they benefit greatly from relationships and access to women, emotionally, physically, financially, but mostly emotionally and physically. Well, shit, no, y'all benefit financially too. Never mind. These women out here working and paying bills right alongside y'all. So, yeah, women do not benefit from being involved with men romantically. And until we collectively understand that and see it for what it is, these men are going to continue to hold the power in that aspect. And they're going to continue to use what we want and what we've been molded to want against us. So y'all be safe out there now.
I appreciate y'all for coming up. Jazz, I'll bring you right back up in a second, but give me a second. Don't worry. We finna go ahead and end it, but I did want to read 6 little things here. This from Ephesians 5, y'all. Let me. I want y'all to see how important this is, right? I'm gonna read 5 verses. If you want to stay, you can. If you don't, you don't. But this for the ones who want to hear. Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it, that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word, that he might present it to himself a glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that it should be holy and without blemish. So ought men to love their wives. Let's read that again. So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies. He that loveth his wife loveth himself. For no man has ever hated his own flesh, but nourished and cherished it, even as the Lord of the church. Let's read that again. So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies. He that loveth his wife loveth himself. Focus on that. Focus on that. That right there is powerful. For no man, so ought men to love their wives as their own bodies. He that loveth his wife love himself. Nigga, if you cheat on your wife, you don't even love yourself. If you beat your wife, you don't love yourself. Yeah. Y'all talk about the submit verse. Y'all don't talk about that. Y'all mistreating your wife. You don't love yourself. You damn sure don't love her. But you don't love yourself. Come on now. I told y'all don't get to use the Bible over here to manipulate women and gaslight women. That word gonna go in your ball over here. You don't get to do that. So if you're curious, for the believers, y'all already know about that verse. For the non-believers, check out Ephesians 5 and 25. That's all I wanted to say. Thank y'all for joining. This has been fun. Again, that Cash App up there is Jazz's Cash App. Just put a money sign in front of it, and y'all can donate to her as she feeds the homeless over there in Florida, since they're making it very hard. You can get in trouble for it now. Anyway, thank y'all for the continuous support. Thank y'all for we reached 61,000 over here. That's crazy. If you follow me, follow Jazz. That's my co-host. She will be over here majority of the time that TikTok stays here. Oh, just so you know, TikTok is banned. I hope y'all know that. So this will probably be the last extension. I don't know why people acting like the shit ain't going away. It's already banned. There's only, and they're putting pressure on Trump to uphold the ban that they worked so hard to push across. So you might want to look into that. It literally is technically banned in the U.S., but he did another executive order, right? And he can do it as many times as he wants. But ByteDance already said that they're not going to sell, and I don't think that they're going to make a deal. So, yes, but as far as the app itself being banned, it is banned. I don't know why people have been moving around on this mud acting like it's not going nowhere, but yes. So just look that up. I'm not lying to you. I ain't got no reason to lie to you. But if y'all want to follow me on Instagram, just click the link tree. I still have a YouTube channel. Jazz will be over there. Like if this mug gets shut down too, because I haven't been using both, but I'm gonna get into it. But I still have a YouTube channel. We got 10K over there. If y'all want to follow me over there, you can. You just click the link tree. It's gonna take you straight to my YouTube channel right there in my bio. So we'll keep the conversation going. You can follow me on Instagram if you want to. We got 19K over there, I think. We'll keep the conversation going. But anyway, thank y'all for the like I said, thank y'all for the support. But y'all, I'm gonna sit right here for about 30 more seconds. I need all y'all. I need all y'all in here. The 150. I need y'all to click on Jazz's name and follow her. Need y'all to click on Jazz's name and follow her. She'll probably be having the same discussions that I'm having a lot of times, and amongst other things. And also, y'all can screenshot me and my ugly face with this Cash App above me. Just in case y'all ever feeling like y'all want to donate to Jazz as she's feeding the homeless. She's doing a mighty work over there.
Also in the link tree in my bio, guys. That's a little bit easier. And thank you so much to everyone who's already donated. And thank you guys for supporting the live. I will definitely be working on getting my YouTube following up in case this thing just goes Houdini one day. To make sure that we can, continue the dynamic duo.
All right, y'all. With that being said, like I said, just follow Jazz. Appreciate the support. We'll be back tomorrow. We are incorporating the women's only lives on Thursdays, but it might just be the Thursdays at the end of the month. So
Last Thursday of the month. The last time I was not feeling well, y'all. But I'm trying to be consistent with the last Thursday of the month for the Brown Girl Mic Night, where women are able to come up, share their experiences, grievances, ask for advice, and things of that nature. Just giving you guys a night to be heard. Share your personal stories if you feel comfortable in a space where you'll be protected. Shannon does not go live those nights because YouTube is a whole different scope than TikTok. Not everybody has a TikTok, but YouTube is at the tip of everyone's finger. So for the protection and privacy of everyone else, Shannon does not go live on YouTube when we have those Brown Girl Mic Nights. So you guys are definitely able to be open and share things. I do ask that if you do participate on those Brown Girl Mic Nights, that you are aware that these kinds of things can still be recorded by people. And so be careful about sharing specific names or whatever if you don't want these sorts of things to get back to anyone if they happen to be recorded. But just know that on our end, it's not being recorded other than through TikTok itself. You know, we really thank you guys for being so supportive. There's been a lot of growth for both of our followings this year. So any little donation helps, by the way. The goal is to, when I can, especially during the summertime, get water, fruit, and you know, cold foods like packing sandwiches and chips like that for the homeless. There's a lot of homeless veterans in my area. There's just a lot of homeless people in general in my area. There's a DV shelter in Central Florida that I have once stayed at. I am a DV survivor myself. I try to, when I can, drop off some supplies there, or fruit or snacks or certain food items, feminine products, baby formula, baby wipes, baby diapers, things like that, because these are very low funded areas in the state of Florida in particular. And it's only going to get worse with Dump in office. So thank you guys for your support thus far. I really appreciate it.
I will see y'all tomorrow, and people may have plans on July 4th. I might literally, I don't go live on Fridays, but I think I have the go ahead. So if I go live Friday, I'll let my co-host know. We'll be up here at the same time. But anyway, other than that, oh, and Chrissy, I see you. You said upload it to YouTube. It's gonna take so I'm gonna have to download the you on vacation? No, I gotta work tomorrow. I was just off today, but I gotta work tomorrow. I'm not on vacation. But Chrissy, I did see your comment. You said upload it to YouTube. I will upload it to my YouTube. Remember, my YouTube is still just Controversial Shannon. I'll upload it. I'll try to download it because it's going to take an hour to download from here. But I will upload it first thing at 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to download it tonight. I'm going to upload it. And then I will set the timer for it to be released at 8 o'clock a.m. We'll do it like 8 o'clock a.m. Central Time. So y'all can watch the live cap. And Jazz, very much appreciates your donation. Other than that, love y'all. See y'all tomorrow. I would say 8 o'clock, but it's literally right now. It's probably going to be earlier. I'll let you know. Just stay tuned, damn it. See you later, Jazz. Love y'all, man.